I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. U.S., Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology. Cryo-technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. Dude, it's such a good name. I'm doing a mic check, Chappelle?
Yep.
Yo, this is sick. Go.
How do I sound?
All right, I'm here. Hakim Tafari.
Oh, yeah, this is perfect.
I sound good,
so
Toby?
Close as possible. Yeah, great.
All right,
yeah.
perfect. Like I'm making love to it. Like I'm Barry White. All right, baby. So we're here, love. We're here. Right.
That's the voice of Hakim Tafari. Yeah. Like Rakim. I love your name, man. It's so sick. Okay, wait. I'm going to say it really slow because you say get hyper. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very special guest. But before I get to him, I got my man, Chappelle Lacey, my new adopted son. I love this human. he's retired from the game. I see people commented, I miss him. I miss his potting. So I appreciate you pulling up to my house, Lacey. So thanks for being here, Chappelle Lacey.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And Hakim Tafari, one of the dopest names. Man. Tafari. Hakim Tafari. I'm sorry, man. Fuck, man. Because I'm thinking about Safari, that dude Safari. I don't know why.
Safari from...
You know that...
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Dude, thank you for...
I know.
Thank you for being here. I heard your name through Mike from Lululemon many times. And then we met at Taco Vega. Shout out to Chef Jared, who's now at Nick's on Beverly.
Yep.
Shouts out.
And then we have so many things and views and music and all kinds of shit in common. So I was like, I loved it. And we hung out twice. Maybe we went Green Table.
Green Table.
Yep.
But how you doing? Nice. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. As I said before, when I first rolled up, to be in the presence of Mr. Sexiest Vegan by Peter, 2006 to 2010. You held it down for many years, mate.
Wait, you got it every...
I totally forgot about this
2006 to 2010. Do your research, mate.
Oh my God.
I totally forgot about that, man.
Okay.
Wow.
So to be in your presence is really humbling. And then to be in Chappelle Lacey's presence, we're going to go deep dive with him, but this cat, taught himself how to backflip. I didn't know that he's hung out with several martial MMA cats like Brendan Schwab, and now has a very long-standing relationship with Joe Rogan, and which I really want to delve into a little bit. I'm acting like I'm giving the interview right now.
I like this though.
But to be in both of yours presence, and that's the kind of vibe out with you and Rich Roll. We've got a mutual connection with Rich Roll. Shout out Richie Rich. And it's this really good hanging out and just vibing out with really good humans.
Yes, because we kicked it for 4 hours the other day.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And you live close to us too. Like when I found out about Chappelle Lacey and we ended up hanging out, He lives so close to me, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love adding more positive people into the world. You know what I mean?
Truly.
You don't need
Very
a lot of, you don't
important.
need a lot of people, but just inspirational ones.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think it's important because I feel like you're able to learn something new all the time. You know, because I think each person that, you know, comes with positivity or walks through life with, you know, positivity, I feel like everybody has a you know, their own perspective of it, and it's cool to hear like other people's perspective about like, oh, well, how'd you find your grounded, you know,
Truly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just cool to like be around.
Yeah, I like that energy. Like, we don't have like a big crew of people we hang out, but we have like a tight crew of people that we hang out with. They're like, everybody's psyched for each other and support each other. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
promote each other and
Yes.
just, I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing of ego.
No.
You know, it's just like, and I think that's mainly because a lot of us are really happy and
Oops, sorry. I'm sorry.
Where
it's
we're
okay,
at in life.
Stella. Yeah, happy with where we're at in life, and
Yes.
you know, I don't know. Yeah, I
It's
just
grown
think
folk shit, man. It's grown. It's, you know, it's grown
that's
folk
true.
stuff.
Grown folk shit.
Yeah.
Grown folk shit.
Yeah, it really is. I think you get to a point where, you know, how quickly we were able to connect with each other, right? As you said, I learned so much from you in just the little time that we spent with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a funny cat, and you're a really great comedian, but you're just learning about you in life and just learning about your travels and you journal. And I don't know a lot of black folks that journal, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And go to England to see Oasis.
Yeah, and to go see Oasis and talk about the whole Liam and the whole
Magical.
But you know, I learned a lot from you, and we got to talk and just talking with Toby, and you know, I know and how illustrious your career is and stuff. But we just got to hang out like three grown men talking about real life.
Yeah.
In a really, really positive. And not on some cheesy cliche shit, but like, no, this is how you win in life.
Yeah.
This is what we had to go through to get where we're at right now. And we can sip juice and we can have some nice vegan food and really relax on a nice afternoon in the heart of LA.
Yeah. I love that,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, that whole conversation kind of just, which I think they're all needed. It not once was it like, I don't know, it took us away from all the craziness that exists in our world. Because, that stuff is out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like, you know, us three have like been able to like navigate ourselves through that, which is not easy for most people to say.
Yes.
And, you know, because people want to have those crazy conversations about the crazy things all the time. But it's like, hey, there's these other things that are out there that exist that you can speak on and have conversations about. And I feel like those conversations get you further than, you know, any type of just dwelling on like the crazy shit.
Yes.
And that's what happens when you're off your phone, too. And you're actually just talking to humans. You know what I mean? Because on
That
your phone,
part.
it's just crazy.
That
Because
part.
on your phone, it's just it's just everything, like smashing your face all day long.
Yeah.
So when he's having a conversation, just like we're doing now, like, I don't know, I love it. That's why I love doing the podcast, is talking, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, being
really.
away from the phone, you don't necessarily think the world is crazy.
Yes.
When you're outside walking around seeing people.
Yes.
Even during the pandemic, it was like all these scary things, and then we would just take a walk or just do something like, okay, there's people out. Like, it's not like the end of the world, but the news and everything was just so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then you're outside, like, okay, life is happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's,
Like,
what do they call it? IRL in real life.
in real life, yeah.
But, you know, that's the thing. And I think, you know, you talk about that and talk about that time when you get to really embrace real good people. I mean, it doesn't happen. It's the fact that we were meant to kind of coexist in the same space.
Yeah.
The fact that we all live within literally 7 to 8 minutes away
Crazy,
from
dude.
each other.
That's
There's
crazy.
no mystery.
Especially in a
It's-
massive city like this.
In
I
a
know.
massive city like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So it's no coincidence.
I believe that too, yeah.
Yeah, it's no coincidence. And the fact that, you know, you talk about getting off the phone and living real life, this is really what it's all about. If you can get away from because I don't. Half the time, I didn't even know about the whole Boris Johnson thing about him, stepping down in England. And it wasn't until my neighbor told me, and she was like, "Don't you watch the news?" And I was like, "No, I don't."
Yeah,
man,
I don't. And maybe I'm naive, and maybe I need to watch the news a little bit. But honestly, I learned from folks like you, and really that's my news. And I might catch a glimpse on when I'm on, Instagram or stuff.
Yeah.
But I purposely don't watch the news because all I see is mass destruction, heartache, the whole 9 yards. And to be honest with you, I don't want to live in that realm right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in that realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been in that realm for a long time. I want to be in a realm where, as I said, I can meet with my homies.
Yeah.
I can go home at night. I can vibe out with my partner. You know what I mean? Chill out with the kids, and just vibe out to something good. If we meditate, we meditate. If we're cooking food together, cool. But I don't need to be all in the suffering and the drama and yada yada. I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a time and a place for that.
I agree.
I think that's amazing because back when on the other podcast that I used to do before I just like quit it all in general, they would talk about things in such ways that I'm like, I don't know anything about. I was like, I didn't even know that person existed, to be quite honest. Like a lot of times when they say shit, I go, I have no clue.
It's like current event stuff.
Yeah, current event stuff.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, like, fans and other people from time to time be like, man, you don't know anything. Like, and it's like, I was like, I don't think it's that I don't know anything. I don't think that's the case. It just lacks substance to me. So if it lacks substance, I don't necessarily pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And people would think I was crazy because I didn't watch the news. And they were like, but you do podcasting, you got to be. And I was like, but I'm not a newscaster. I was like, that's for them to do. I'm like, I'm just a guy that, I mean, I'll talk about what I know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I could talk about, like my spiritual journey, whatever. I could talk about that kind of stuff and just stuff within the world of what I do, comedy, music.
Yeah.
I can have all those conversations. I just don't know anything about, stuff that I just don't know. Because it's not something, and like you said, I've been in a world where like every day it was just chaos. So it's like when you're out of that world and you found your way to like, I'm like, oh, I could be over here and live comfortably and live happy. And not have to, oh gosh, I could do that? Yeah. That's easy. That's dope. That's fun. You know what I mean? So like I always feel excited about life on a regular basis.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that because I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like people think that like, do we have to, as our responsibility for what we do in our lives to also pay attention to all that suffering and the politics and all that, we have to speak about it. But like you're saying, like, I don't want to speak about something I don't know 100% about because then I'll get flipped on for not knowing the right thing. And it's not my world.
And you
like,
see that constantly. You see that constantly with people where it's like, so it's like, why would I even jump into that world? It's like, am I 100% correct? And then it's like, oh, I got to do even more research about this situation that I'm like, I can't necessarily control or do much about, but other than like, know it exists and know it's there and find my way of feeling what I feel about it. Like that's all I can.
And what you do is to get people's minds off the fucked up world we live in. They go into escape. They go into laugh and not think about shit like that. Yeah. Whether you talk about those subjects or not and make them funny, you know what I'm saying? Like your thing is like getting people away from the fucked up negative world. Yeah. Like I think, right?
Well, yeah. And let me preface this by saying like I'm not saying like we should be just looking through shit through rose tinted glass and everything is all sparkly and dandelions and stuff like that. There are certain things there are certain injustices that you can't help but talk about.
100%.
Right?
100%.
There are certain injustices that need to be talked about. There are certain things that need to be brought out to the front and vocalized on. At the same time, I'm not going to try and be some social justice superhero when I'm not.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a big responsibility.
Yeah,
100%.
man. Like, what did Jesus say? I'm no so-called activist caught up on. He says something in a line where he's basically saying I'm not, this so-called pro-activist. I'm a regular human being.
Kendrick says that in the new record too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact Jizza line, but I'm no so-called activist caught up on a scholar's dick. Right?
And Kendrick's like something. I'm more Kodak Black than I am. I forgot what it was too.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think, as I said, we've been through what we've been through. We know, there's time to speak up about the Briannas, the Ahmads, and so forth. There are times to talk about how, Clarence Thomas is really the Antichrist, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to just hang out with Chappelle and Toby and talk about some really dope shit. Like, like Raekwon, like this Raekwon figurine here, like nonfiction, which was like one of my favorite groups back in the day. I just had
Sabak on my podcast because we used to work together at Nana Shoes in Manhattan.
Shit.
Before we had H2O, before he had nonfiction, we just sold shoes together in Soho at Nana.
Wow.
Sabak Red, he was just on the pod like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. It's crazy.
Okay, so
right?
now I'm going to have to go. Come on,
Necro.
that was like, and that was at a time when Raucous was really big too.
Yes, Raucous Records.
And Talib and Mos and were like really first coming out, and there was don't get me started on that era of hip hop, mate. Don't get me started.
I want to talk about you too because you lived all over the place. Obviously, England first and foremost, right?
Yep.
But New York, like Ohio, Florida.
No, Florida.
Okay, Florida. Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place.
So how was it growing up? How was it in England growing up? How was it? Because you seems like
I'm excited for this part.
Because it seems like you're in the mix of punk, hip hop, everything, just like us.
Yeah.
Same type of growing up,
Well, I grew up as an altar boy.
Altar boy.
Yeah, I was my mom and dad, Jamaican immigrants. I think we talked about the Windrush. Did we talk about the Windrush the other day? Yeah. So part of that Windrush movement back in the early 60s. And I came up, in nitty gritty England in the, it was like, went for me. And I was talking about it with my cousins the other day. Like, we grew up in an era where our parents came and worked really hard. Like, I saw my dad working 12, 13-hour days, from like 12 in the morning to like 12 in the afternoon, and then going to sleep for a little while and then going back out to work. And then my mum was a nurse who ended up becoming a psychiatric nurse and working at this mental institution, and going watching that and having to watch them go through their own type of racial abuse. One of the common things was if anything was talked about Jamaica and Africa, white folks would say, well, you should be used to that. You know all about that type of shit, called gollywogs. And I came up in an era where we kind of rebelled against that shit. Like, man, you can't be treating our parents like that.
Yeah.
And coming up through predominantly white schools where you were the outcast, which was, I came up in an elementary school or primary school, as we call it, which was predominantly white, and a high school. And as I got older, I was kind of raised there's this thing about West Indian and so-called African parents. When you get to England, there's a certain racial kind of stature that you have to get, like the house, the picket fence, being in the white neighborhood. That's a sign of making it, or the false smoking mirror sense of making it, right? And my parents weren't well off, but they lived in a very middle class, somewhat suburban, because they didn't want to live in the council estates where a lot of my other families lived.
Okay.
Right? So the council estates are like projects, right? And So I kind of flirted with both because I had cousins and friends who lived in the council estates, but I lived in a very kind of white middle class, neighborhood. So I learned code switching from a very early age.
Yeah.
Right? Being in Jamaican household.
Yeah.
Where my parents predominantly speak patois, you know what I mean? And it's rice and peas and curry goat and all that type of stuff. Then being out there in the streets with my mates who were into everything, right? Yeah. Like at that time it was dub music, and we had friends who were building boxes and speakers for sound systems. Happy Mondays and Stone Roses raves were really big at that time. A lot of the brethren were selling ecstasy. That was a way of making money on the weekends. We'd be in houses smoking mad hash, like 20 of us smoking hash spliffs while selling ecstasy, while cats were upstairs tripping balls. So that was kind of the era that I grew up in, right?
Yeah.
And then and then we had so-called rude boys that were funneling, whatever type of drugs or whatever. These were like older cousins who we would like look up and admire, who were wearing like Fred Perry, Sergio Tacchini, Clarks, and were moving in a certain way. And these were like our idols back then because they were making money, but they were like living that kind of street life, so to speak. So, and then football was a big thing. Yeah. So we played footy 4 or 5 times a day.
Damn.
Like play it in the morning, play it break time, play it at lunch, play it when you get off at school, and then play it again maybe like right before you go to bed. Damn. So it was
you out in the streets all day long.
All day long. Yeah. You out in the streets. Summertime, you might play some tennis. But yeah, we were out in the streets all the time.
Yeah, and so were you going to school? Were you like a good student and stuff? You like?
I was a good student up until about 15, and then I kind of got wild. Okay. And then that's when I hit the other streets, so to speak.
So did you just quit school, kind of?
No, I didn't quit school. I didn't quit school. I was still good with going because I got raised in Jamaican parents.
I was gonna say
they're strict, man. Up until a certain point, I was a student.
Damn. Okay.
I was a student, but up until a certain point, I would just fuck off, so to speak, and I wouldn't show up until test because I knew once I could ace the test, I didn't want to maybe show up. I'd skive off and hang out with the homies, blow some hash, or do whatever. And we were in the girls at that. We were in the girls. 15, 15.
Yeah.
We were in the girls and footy, and smoking hash.
So for the listeners, hash is weed and tobacco.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is that a Europe thing mostly?
That's a European thing. Yeah.
I heard people say that a bunch. It's not really something that happens in America, right, Hash?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even find that shit anymore now. It's really, really, It's like back in the day when cats in New York used to smoke Thai stick. You don't find Thai stick anymore.
Or angel dust? No, it's different.
That's what I was like.
That I don't know about, mate.
That was a crazy New York thing, too.
Yeah, angel dust was a big.
Damn.
And L.A. was Sherm, right?
Sherm.
Yeah.
So were you were you into punk rock too at that age?
Yeah, we were. Because what had happened was once I left high school, because you leave high school at 16, and you can either go sixth form, which would lead you up to college or uni, or you could go to a tech school, or you could go to a specialty school. So I went to art college.
Nice.
Which was the kind of prerequisite before art or university, right?
Yeah.
So I could basically get an art degree and then go for whatever type of specialty art degree I wanted to go to if I wanted to go to university.
Yeah.
So it was like a 2-year program to lead me into another what would be 4 year, but I could jump in and just do 2 years. If that makes sense.
What kind of art?
Illustration. That was my bag.
Okay.
So, I think that's me. So at that time, when I was leaving high school, I love telling this story because my high school teacher was like, you ain't going to get into art school whatsoever. You're not going. Because again, I very rarely showed up. And when I did, I was drawing some very illicit pictures. But but then I got serious.
Yeah.
Because I really was like, okay, this is, I'm kind of living a certain life. I'm kind of in the streets. I'm kind of not. I'm still at home living an altar boy life, but I don't really want to. But I really want to go to art school. I really want to go to. And then, lo and behold, I cranked it in the last year of high school. I cranked
Killed it.
I just cranked it as much as I could. As much as I could catch up to. Because I fucked off the most of the other years. And then once I got it, and I got that ticket in the art school, I was like, boom.
Sick.
Then I got in the art school. And at that time, I thought I was a man. I was like, I got in the art school and people didn't think I was going to get in, yada, yada. And then I told mom and dad, all right, I'm leaving. And I left home.
Wow.
And originally what happened was I got in with a mate of mine named Andrew Scarlett, and he and his mother took me in for a little while. And then that was how I was surviving. And I had worked with him at this place called Clowns, which was a restaurant. And I was just washing plates and whatnot. And that was how I'd make my way through art school. Yeah. And then I was working at this insurance firm. So I had 2 jobs. And that was kind of how I was paying my way, and I would still get a little bit of money from the school system for tools and whatnot. And then, I just left home. I thought I was a big man, and I was like, I left home.
Were your parents, worried?
Oh, dude, they were pissed. They were pissed. Oh, yeah, and let's not forget that I turned Muslim, too.
Oh, wow.
So I turned Muslim. Then, I turned Muslim, came to my parents, and I'm no longer, I'm this now, and I'm leaving.
Wow.
Crazy, man.
So, I left home, did that, and then my mate who I was living with, him and his Irish mum, Eileen, amazing people, basically said, you got to go.
How long are you there for?
You need to figure it out.
Damn.
And then that's when my cousin, who was living with this girl, they had like a 3-flat kind of apartment, but no one was living there. So I squatted there.
Wow.
So it was like a squatter spot. It was
you like 16?
Yeah, 16, 17. Damn. It was real dank. It was like on Skid Row. It was so dank. It was like where all the drug dealers and the prostitutes hang out. And then there was a nightclub right down the street called Hollywood's. And that was where, young folks in Ipswich would hang out if we weren't going out to London. Yeah. That was a spot. And, that was how I lived.
That's crazy, man. And you're hanging out punk rockers and all kinds of people.
All types of dudes. And especially at art college, I was hanging out with, that's where I got exposed to everything.
Okay.
Like I saw you with the Fugazi shirt. Like I got exposed to Fugazi, Sonic Youth. My hero at that time was this amazing, like, fine art guy who had another brother who was a major fine artist, and their dad owned a wine shop in the town. So I was getting exposed to wine at like knowing how to select wine and yada yada at early age, and these cats really exposed me to so much, like, as I said, like learning about Sonic Youth and learning about Danzig and learning about all of this stuff. Yeah. At such an early age. Amsterdam, going to Amsterdam on weekends.
Milkwig?
This doing the craziest shit at that age.
Yeah. So going to shows, traveling, living,
At that age, that's crazy.
Age, like shows like the first ever Rakim, Eric B. Rakim, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys. Who else was on that bill?
Damn.
At Hammersmith Odeon.
Wow.
Watching.
What year would that be? Like 80s?
Oh, yeah. That was like 80, 87, 88.
Damn.
You know, that was when Tim Westwood, before he got caught canoodling with 14-year-old girls.
I didn't even know that.
Tim Westwood?
Yeah, man.
What?
Tim Westwood was killing it at that time. Killing it. When anybody would come into London.
I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Either.
We'll talk about the whole Tim Westwood thing a little bit later.
You know that cat?
I don't know him personally. Never met him personally, but
he's huge.
Still killing it.
Oh,
yeah.
dude. Well, I don't know about it now because some shit just came out now.
Okay.
Yeah, some shit just came out now. But back then, dude, he was killing it. Anybody knew was going on his show.
Okay.
And that was how I would keep this. That's how we kept hip hop.
Okay.
That's how we became so embedded in hip hop because of Tim Westwood. So, and then we had the dub. And then we'd go to London and listen to dub. And then we were in the streets with fashion. So we had magazines like Face and Sky.
I remember the Face. Yeah,
Face and Sky magazine. Mm-hmm. And that's how we lived.
Damn.
And that's how I lived as an art student. I was in all these worlds.
That's like, it's a total New York vibe, man, to me. Like, because we had CBGBs and we go see the Ritz and go see a hip hop show.
Yeah.
Or the punk matinee. Everybody's walking around the streets. See Joey Ramone. Everybody. It's sick, man. Yeah.
Punk rock. I mean, we had, you know... we had pro skinheads, anti skinheads living in the same city, and then you go to London, and then you go to a blues, right? So a blues is like a late night, like after the club, like 4 or 5 o'clock. You got the blues, and that's in somebody's house. Somebody's cooking some curry goat and rice and peas, and you're paying, and there's big boxes and sound systems in there. And they're playing nothing but reggae and lovers rock and dub. And every now and again, they might play some soul music or hip hop, or they might throw, you know, if there's some white boys in there, they might throw some punk in there. But, you know, or some ska, you know what I mean? So, back in the day was ska, right?
Totally.
So, yeah, man. And that was a time when, because you got to remember, blues, black folks in England weren't allowed in certain clubs and certain pubs.
Wow.
So they had to form their own. And that's where the blues came from. A blues was a late night party where somebody would clean out their house, put their furniture in somebody else's house, and somebody would set up these big boxes and speakers, and that was where black folks would go
like
without being
underground
fucked.
Sick, man.
Yeah. So you had that, and then you had, you just had everything there.
Yeah.
You had everything. You had London. Yeah. So that was so cool for me. So I lived in Ipswich, but I could just go out to London. And I was living this at 16, 17 years
Crazy,
old.
man.
Sometimes it still blows my mind that this shit happened. But yeah.
Like just absorbing it all, man. Everything, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, man. And did you have any thoughts of doing anything in music or anything?
At that time, I was doing a little rapping thing, you know what I mean? Doing a little rapping thing, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be like as I came to America, because that's the other story, is that I came to America when I was like literally just turning 18.
Wow.
I just finished out college. My cousin that came to where I was squatting was totally disgusted. It was like one of my older cousins who had kind of raised me, right? And she was like totally disgusted. She was like, "What is this?" You know what I mean? And she was like, "You need to go to your parents' house." So I came to my parents' house one day, and there was green cards on the table, and they were like, "What do you want to do?" And at that time, Cats was living really, really kind of dank, you know what I mean? I had cats who, I knew older cats who were like in and out of jail. Knew this one cat who pretty much raised a lot of us, hung himself in jail. I knew cats who were selling this ecstasy and hash and this didn't see. And these were the cats that I was running with on top of, So it was like, do I really see myself in a future here?
So during all this, since you had moved out of your parents' house, were you still like in contact? Would you still talk to your folks all the time?
Every now and again.
Check in.
Because check in. And then other people would see me in the town and would be
Report
like, oh,
back.
yeah. You know your parents miss you. You know you need to go check on your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you got to remember West Indian communities are very close-knit. That's why everyone's your auntie. Everyone's your, you know, it's that real tribal thing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I might see my godmother in town and she'd be like, you know, I know you're not seeing eye to eye with your parents, but your mom's still asking for you.
Yeah.
Shit like that. You know what I mean?
So no siblings.
So I have 2 sisters. One who passed away about 9-10 years ago, and another one that is pretty much non-existent to me.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
So to me, it's like
Solo dolo.
Yeah.
Solo dolo.
Solo dolo.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because, you know, the iterations of the relationship with my parents have really just been kind of crazy from then to being in America, and then me living with them in America like several times. And then the last iteration was when I got divorced and I had nowhere to go.
Wow.
And they were my
Yeah.
they were my rock, so
Your
to
rocks,
speak.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of deep how, you know, the full circle with my parents kind of, I get kicked out or move out, so to speak, and then I end up
back with them.
in my
So they had
darkest
green
hour.
cards on the table. Like, what do you want to do? Was that something where they're gonna just send you to America? Or you're all gonna go together
Well, they ended up sending me before, so I ended up coming here
by yourself.
Yeah, by myself.
Wow. At
And
what
I-
age? 18 now.
18.
Damn.
And
Never been here before.
When I used to come from like 85 to 90. I would come pretty much every summer to Brooklyn.
Really?
Flatbush.
Family out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah.
Damn, Flatbush in 85, bro.
Yo, let me tell
It's so
you.
different now.
Listen, I used to walk Flatbush Avenue by myself. I used to buy myself Lee jeans. This was back when Lee's and Fat Laces.
Sick.
I bought my own shell toes. Bro, I used to buy when Beat Street came out. I came into Brooklyn and came back with a Beat Street tracksuit to Ipswich Town. Yo, niggas was like mad pissed with me. I even got chased out of I don't use that word very commonly, but yo, because they were on some NIGG shit, but they ran me out of the town because I used to flash. I would go to New York, come back with some fly shit, and being in a place like that, because you had London and you had Ipswich, which is right down the street, but you would have to go to London to get this shit, and there was not really many places that were carrying troop suits and Puma suits.
Yeah,
and
we had Dapper Dan shit too.
Yeah, and I'd come back and I'd just be pop. Yeah, cats were not.
Yeah, he'd be like, look at me, I came back from New York.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that's so.
Were you working in New York too when you were out there? Did you have a job out there?
So when I first got out there, so as I said, I just got out of art college, and I was probably going to go to Pratt or FIT.
FIT.
Right?
Fashion Institute.
And it was lined up. Everything was lined up, and I arrived in New York in 91. Now, if you know what New York was all about.
I was living there.
You know what New York was all about in 91.
Yeah.
It was grimy as fuck.
I fucking loved it though.
Yeah, but for me, I didn't, because I had roamed around in London and Brixton and places like that.
Yeah.
But then to come to New York in the height of the crack era, and then I was living in Flatbush, right down the street was like one of the biggest Jamaican posses hang out. So I would see these cats on a daily, going to the Chinese spot, going to go, fetch some fish or some stuff like that for my aunts. You know what I mean? It was really volatile times back then.
I was in Queens. I was at Live in 91 video.
Yeah.
I was 21 out there.
Yeah, it was wild. And that was the start of the crack era. So cats were like on some brolic shit back then. And for me, with the mind state that I had, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. I thought I was, because I used to come to New York every summer, and I thought, oh yeah. But by the time that happened, I wasn't ready for that. So I had an aunt who lived in Austin, Texas, who I had a really great relationship with. And then I moved to Austin.
Wow.
You want to talk about punk?
Yeah.
My relationship with punk then was when I started hanging out with the skate kids.
Gotcha.
And once I hung out with the skate kids, I kind of brought a little bit of the New York vibe. I was an enigma. I was this black English cat who lived in New York, who is now here. And then I was running with the skate cats. And then, you know, come down the line, I ended up bouncing at this place called Emo's.
Which I played a million times, man. Yes. Shout out to Emo's.
Yeah, man. One of my homeboys, Chris Tominaga, we used to call him Sweet Nut, was the main barman. And then Emo. And then this Dave, God, I can't remember. But they took a chance on me, and I was like maybe 19.
Damn.
20, and I used to be security.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I used to be security at Emo's.
Wow,
it's
man.
Cool. Just to get the
in
timeline
Austin, Texas.
order. So Austin was 90 what?
Yeah, and Austin was 92.
92,
Okay.
Yeah,
92. Yeah, I just moved to Austin.
Yeah.
And then, so 94, I would say 94 was when I started bouncing at Emo's. And then I started getting into music and
yeah. So rhyming more.
Yeah. And then I got with this white boy named Jason Craze. And then we formed a hip hop group called Sockeye.
What's it called?
Sockeye, like the fish, Sockeye.
Wow.
I had no idea what. I was like, that sounds like a good name. Yeah.
What was your name? You went by?
What did I go by? I went by Hakim.
Such a great name, though, man.
I went by Hakim Muhammad back then.
Gotcha.
Because that was the name that I was given by my imam when I became. So I just kept with it, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
And then what happened? I started rhyming with these cats, and Emo's gave us our first show.
Wow.
Right?
So cool.
Yeah. And then we started hanging out with these boys called, at the time it was Blondie's Skate Store. And they were the hub for music. They were the hub for gear. They were the hub for this everything.
Yeah.
And that's when all the myriad of people would hang out. You'd get your graffiti artists, your skateboarders, your hip hop, your punk. Everyone would converge at, all the local punk guys used to get their posters drawn by the guys who worked at Blondie's.
Got you. Wow. And is there like a hip hop scene in Austin? Is there like artists?
Big time.
Back then?
Big time.
Yeah.
Big
Early
time.
90s.
Especially in the 90s. Yeah.
Oh, in the 90s? Yeah. There was a really big group out of Dallas called Mad Flavor.
Okay.
That was really, really big. And they were down with House of Pain and that whole Soul's Assassin crew.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And out of that, I like to give a little bit of tidbit knowledge. So out of that Dallas scene came a hip hop group with a girl named Erica Free. Erica Free
was
or now is become Erykah Badu.
Amazing.
Wow.
I gave Erica Free one of her first shows in Austin, Texas.
No way.
When I used to do street promotions. And I used to do street promotions for a lot of record labels, Big Beat, Loud Records.
Yeah.
That's why I got some non-fiction 12s. I used to do a lot of street promotion and used to do a lot of shows. So I bring Hieroglyphics, Dell, Artifacts, God, you name it. We used to bring them to Austin, Texas. So there was a really big music scene. And this was before the real big inception of South by Southwest.
Yes. And
I will publicly go on record and say that South by Southwest hip hop would not be as big as if it wasn't for cats like me, Traeger, T-Double, Dave from Emos, Chris Tominaga. A lot of us were like Andre. I can't remember Andre's last name, but there was a cat named Andre who was really pivotal in really maximizing hip hop in Austin, Texas.
Yeah. Right.
And we were like, we knew we were good, and we were bringing like Gravediggers. Gravediggers' first show was at one of the early South by Southwest.
It's crazy.
And we helped curate that. So we were really pivotal in, you know, the hip hop scene. And as I said, when no one really wanted to play hip hop, Emos
still did. Yeah.
Emos did.
Wow.
Took a chance.
Yeah, so many punk shows there too. So many bands came through there.
It's like sounds like you guys like created the foundation of just
big time
what it's evolved
big
into.
Big
now.
time.
You guys gave them something to springboard off of.
Like you know, we were hanging out. Like I was hanging out with cats. What's homie's name from Sublime? You know,
you would
Sublime.
know that.
Yeah, Brad Noel.
Yeah,
the singer.
Yeah. You know, they would hang out at the skate shop. That was a time when Sublime was real big and would tour. I can't tell you the amount of groups, and I'm sure we ran into each other at a time when Emos through 91 or 92 to 96.
Oh yeah,
97.
for sure. Yeah,
because that was a time when I used to run in and out of Emos.
Yeah, amazing shows.
Doing some wild shit there.
It was, right?
Wild shit, bro. Wild shit, mate.
And it's still there?
Yeah, I think it's still there off 6th Street. Yeah.
Damn.
I think it's
still there. I want to play
there.
when we go to Texas again. I definitely go back there.
Yeah, I think it's still there. Right down the street from Stubbs.
Stubbs, yeah, I know Stubbs too, yeah.
And
Austin's so different now too, man. It's crazy.
Oh, it's changed.
Dude.
That time was epic.
It's dope to hear because I only know Austin within like the past like few years.
Me too.
Me
too.
So to hear like what it was like before
all
of what it is today.
It was
I mean,
amazing.
I've always watched like the Austin City
Limits,
videos online and stuff like that. Like, you know, obviously, there's something major that goes down in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really cool, you know, to hear, you know, these early stages of it, you know.
Man, let me tell you, it was it was really where I became a man. I became vegan there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was that inspiration?
I got sick.
Okay.
I got really sick, and yeah, man, this acupuncturist basically saved my life.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in and out of, you know, I had heartburn, irritable bowel syndrome, the whole 9 yards, and in and out of doctor's offices, guinea pig for Zantac, guinea pig for several indigestion medication, and I got really, really sick. I was living a really unhealthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was running with cats that were, you know, I was running with some really wild cats, man, and I was smoking a lot, like really like putting it in as far as drinking and smoking and really not eating well.
Okay.
Really not eating well. So compound, and I was young. You got to remember, my lifestyle up until that point, there was nothing vegan, there was nothing green. There was green, but it weren't no chlorophyll. You know what I mean? It was different green. So by the time I got to a point, it had all, my body had shut down.
Damn. And you're like in your early 20s, right?
Yeah, I was 21, 22.
Wow. And nobody's really talking about vegan back then.
No.
It was a word, but it wasn't like.
No.
Yeah.
And I went to this acupuncturist, and this acupuncturist who was this Buddhist, he was real progressive. And I only saw him 2 times. That time and the time that he was leaving to China to attain his monkhood. But he literally told me I had 6 or 7 years to live if I didn't change my lifestyle.
Wow.
And I was on a fast track too. And he was the one who was like, do you know about this diet? And I really highly suggest you get on it because you need to change your lifestyle now. You really need to make a change now.
Wow.
And I did it.
Was it hard?
No, because I knew it was life or death.
Yeah.
And
that's on the line. You're like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, I was bleeding out of every orifice. Out of every orifice out of my body.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, nah. I need a change.
Holy shit! So it was cold turkey. You just did it.
I did the Subway thing because back then I didn't really know too much vegetarian stuff.
Oh, Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
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 Was that like the thing?
Just like subs with vegetables in it, whatever. Yeah.
And at that time, I didn't know how progressive Austin was, but Austin was really one of the main mothers of vegan. There's a place called Mothers. I don't know if it's still there.
I still go there.
It's still there?
Yeah. It's great.
But Austin was really one of the archetypes of cities that really embraced vegan, vegetarian lifestyle.
Did not know that.
So it was really easy for me to transition. Whole Foods. That's the birthplace of Whole Foods.
True.
So, I had places like Whole Foods and Sun Harvest. So when I made this transition, I had a really good friend named ETN. And ETN was like the super Yogi Ross, right? Way ahead of his time. And he taught me a lot about nutrition, the herbs that I should be drinking, the herbs that should be taught me about dandelion, taught me about chicory, taught me about gotu kola, ginkgo, all these herbs. And then I started studying because that's how I am. When I get into something, I study.
Yeah.
And then again, this was life or death for me. So as I'm going through this, I've got this prophet next to me.
Yeah.
This guy who I'm working with in UPS.
Wow.
And this is a time when I was working UPS. I was working UPS at night, and then I get 2-3 hours sleep, and then I go to Circuit City and work in the warehouse in the daytime.
Circuit City?
Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Circuit City.
Yeah.
And I became vegan doing that, man. And that was a really great time because I was running with these cats who were Ross, who were studying Angolan capoeira. I was studying Kung Fu. I was running with these Kung Fu specialists who were this like
praying mantis style.
Exactly. I
did my search.
Check him out. Yeah, praying mantis Kung Fu.
Yeah,
and then I was really into yoga. So yeah, it was a combination. I went a whole 360.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
And I'd lost like 100 and something pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, because I was 270 pounds, and I'd lost like 100 and something pounds.
Wow.
And then, cats thought I was on crack.
Really?
Because I came out the scene. I literally came out the scene. I was like, I don't want to be part of the scene anymore. I had hibernated. I got my girl involved. I got my best friend, who is still like Captain Kung Fu.
Sick.
Like still one of the baddest motherfuckers in Texas. But we all my best friend, who was me and him, formed a group called X Factor. And then what happened with the music was the music took shape, and it happened organically, where the music started to go really spiritual and really kind of, on some, and this was before, I'd even heard about Dead Prez and heard about, some of these other cats that were really big into veganism and hip hop and Kung Fu, because I thought I was just like one of the only cats who was living like this.
Yeah, all I knew about KRS-One in 88.
KRS-One, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there was cats like this living like this. So, yeah, at that time, I reformed my life. I got into veganism. I had really got into Buddhism and Taoism. I was going to go to acupuncture school. And then me and my girl broke up. And my parents lived in Orlando now. So then...
Damn, Florida.
Dang.
That's when I moved to Orlando.
Wow. And that's way different than Austin.
Way different.
Shit's great. It's way like...
Bro, let me tell you, I was tricked, I was bamboozled and hoodwinked when I moved to Orlando. When I first went to Orlando, right? When I first went to Orlando, I remember. I remember there was an underground club, bro. There was an underground club. It was full of, and this was when I was a big this was when I was in my Rastas, when I was really big into my Rastafari phase of life. I was a natty, turbaned up Bobo, right? So I used to come to Orlando to visit my parents. And I remember this one time I came to a club. It was like called This Is It. And this was before Orlando became Gunlando. This is a time, because there's a big Jamaican and Haitian population in Orlando. Okay. And I remember going to this club. My cousin took this club. I got cousins everywhere, by the way. This cat's like, why has he got so many cousins? I got cousins all over the place, man. Yeah. But anyway, so we go to this club, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, drinking Guinness, smoking the biggest spliffs in this club in Orlando. So I'm thinking, oh, Orlando is culturally like it. I'm thinking like, there's all of this. When I moved to Orlando, I was sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
I was sadly I told you, man, I thought I'd landed on Plymouth Rock. And I landed on some other type of rock. But anyway.
Dang.
So yeah, I ended up coming. I ended up, living in Orlando.
For how long?
Oh God. I got married.
Okay.
Ended up having kids there. And yeah, there's so many iterations of my life, but then, yeah, because before the kids, I'd put out an album.
Yes.
I was on a record label called Nonsense Records. Yeah. Put out an album.
So
Balance
is this late
Balance?
90s? Is this
the Balance is Balance one?
Oh, yeah. The Balance
Project.
Yeah, exactly.
Late 90s?
Yeah. Definitely late 90s, I would say like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So I got with this group, like it was starting to bubble, right?
Yeah.
Things are starting to bubble. Like
very J. Rue vibe.
Yeah, thank you. Well, J. Rue was a vibe for me back then. And, you know.
Can hear it, yeah.
Yeah. And at that time, that was when I was running with. So this is my intro back to New York.
Okay.
Because I had gone back to New York as a full-blown Ras now. And at that time, I was doing a lot of social justice work for Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Okay.
And at that time, I was really tapped in with what Talib with Nakuru Books was doing, what Dead Prez was doing. And at that time, I was like enamored with what these cats were doing because this is what I was doing.
Yeah.
In Florida. Orlando, Florida.
Crazy.
And if anyone doesn't know about Orlando, Florida is the home of Mickey Mouse. It is Disney. Is it Disney? Is Disney
World?
Disney World.
Yes.
Right, which is way bigger than Disneyland.
Yes.
Universal Studios. Yep. Islands of Adventure. It is Island Resort Trap 101.
Okay.
And it is also one of the hotbeds of retirement.
Yes.
So you have a lot of old white people there.
Yes.
So if you think there's culture there, you're wrong. There is,
it's so funny
but it's so fucking segregated. It's so segregated. You got the Puerto Ricans here. You got the blacks and the Haitians here. You got the Jamaicans here. You got the white people pretty much here. And it is a police state. Mm-hmm. So you are so boxed in. And culturally, it's not the most forward thinking.
Gotcha.
Right? So I'm here doing all of this at a time. And this is like late 90s, early 2000s. And yeah, I come up with this album. We get with this album. And then it starts bubbling. I'm running with all these crazy bohemian vegans in Orlando, Florida. The guy who ended up putting out this label owns one of the dopest restaurants in Orlando now called Ethos.
Okay.
If you ever go to Orlando, go see my man.
I like how you
Ethos.
said if you ever go to
I'm definitely going to go there, though.
Yeah.
If I go there.
If you ever go.
There was some good hardcore shows there in the 90s.
There are. Yeah, there was some really great hardcore shows.
Yeah, there was some good shows.
And one of my best friends at the time, Nate Warren, who was the ex-drummer for is it Against Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was me and him came up writing zines, talking about the Master Cleanse.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's fucking cool.
Is it Nate? Was Nate Warren's last name? But Nate was one of the not the drummer now, but the drummer
back
before.
Then. Yeah.
For Against Me. And
so zines like those. That's cool.
Yeah, we used to do zines and stuff like that on
awesome.
Master Cleanses and banana smoothies and yeah, man.
So sick.
And dumpster diving. We used to do zines on dumpster diving, and I used to run with this other collective called Stone Soup, the Stone Soup Collective, and I used to teach Tai Chi out of to progressives and radicals. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm like, man,
there's a lot. I've been in it, mate. I've been in it.
You've been in it.
So that was, and then I got married.
Yeah.
And then I got married. Yeah. So what happened was,
you're a massage therapist too. We can't forget.
Yeah. I was because that was the thing. When I came to Orlando, I came into I was really big into acupuncture, but I couldn't go to acupuncture school because I was broke. So the next best thing was to go. At that time, there was an Eastern bodywork program where you learned shiatsu, Tuina theory, Tai Chi, and that was my introduction to Tai Chi.
Gotcha.
And I had busted my knee from doing Kung Fu, and I really wanted to study something, and I found my mentor who introduced me into Tai Chi, and this was like 98, 99. And then he gave me my first job teaching Tai Chi at the massage school, and then I ended up becoming a massage therapist, and then I ended up becoming a shiatsu and Thai yoga practitioner.
Jesus, man.
And then I ended up getting my yoga practitioner license, and then I infused Thai yoga and shiatsu, and that was my business. I was really into Eastern spirituality and Eastern bodywork. And so I was a massage therapist for many, many years and taught 5-element theory, Tai Chi, and Tai Chi movement.
Damn,
man. It's crazy. You still do that?
I still teach Tai Chi. I mean, I'm 20 years in the game, 20-something years deep in the game, along with, a little bit of splash of Anis, Filipino martial arts, splash of Aikido. But my main dualities, the things that I can write about praying mantis Kung Fu and Yang style Tai Chi. And I used to study with an old guy from Shanghai called Wang Sifu for 5.5 years on top of a rooftop in Orlando, downtown Orlando, where I learned the whole Wu system of Tai Chi.
That had to be dope.
Oh yeah, it was a closed door community, meaning closed door like you had to be asked to come in.
Wow.
You had to be of a certain level and echelon to be invited to this group. And there was this guy named Paul White, who was another renowned martial artist in the town. And he invited me. And I studied with Wang Sifu.
That's amazing, man.
For 6-7 years.
So you got the best out of Orlando, man. You really dived into all your stuff.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
I came out of Orlando, and, this was right before, because my life changed once I got married. Okay. Once I got married, my life changed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But up until that point,
okay.
You were navigating. You had to,
I had to navigate.
Had to
navigate.
Yes.
Had to navigate life, and
Yes.
It changes
kids,
everything. Of course.
Yeah, kids. I mean, because I had kids.
How many kids?
I have 3.
Wow. Okay.
So at that time, I had the one right before or right after my album came out.
Yep.
So that put the kibosh on anything that I thought about, because I was like, we were about to go on tour with the label, yada yada. That wasn't happening. Then I had a second daughter, and that's when it became real.
Yeah.
And then my ex basically said, well, this is how I got raised, and I want my kids to be raised like this. You're going to have to be the man of the house. So that means you are going to be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
So any type of thing that I was thinking about, like, really doing,
It's a wrap. Dude.
It's a wrap.
It was a wrap.
Wow.
And so I there was a
It must have been hard. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of things I flirted with working with, but there wasn't really much because I was now working like 3-4 jobs.
Were you doing the teaching stuff too? All the stuff that you...
I was teaching massage. I was teaching Tai Chi. I was working at Whole Foods. I was a team leader at Whole Foods. I worked at Whole Foods for like 19 years.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
I heard they have good benefits and all that kind of stuff.
They used to.
Okay.
I didn't even know it'd been around that long.
Man,
yeah, bro, yeah.
Man, before Lucifer came into power, Jeff Bezos, Whole Foods was really just a really great company. And then they started stripping away rights, and they started stripping away insurance policies, and they started stripping away gain sharing. Gain sharing was a way that teams could build up money and build up a reservoir and then share between each other at the end. Yeah, there were really great incentives that Mackey really put forth. And man, when
19 years, wow.
Yeah. So I'd worked at Whole Foods. I was teaching massage, and then in the later iteration of marriage, I was doing Lyft. So I was doing
Lyft.
Dude, I was working 4 or 5 jobs.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
But no music really kind of is on the side.
No, I couldn't. I didn't have time. Damn, man. I had 3 kids. Yeah. I still had all my records and all my vinyl that I had carried with me. Yeah. But was I making music? No. I had homies sending me music, and I was like, where am I going to make it?
Yeah, you're like, what am
I do with it? The last time I had made music, which I think I sent you one track with something, was 2010, 2011. And and then
do you want to still do music? And
oh, bro, I got some stuff bubbling.
Okay.
I got some stuff bubbling. Right? I got some stuff. Yeah, we got some stuff bubbling. But
so your kids are in Florida still?
My kids are in Florida.
Okay.
My kids are in Florida.
And how old are they now?
Oh, God. I got a 12-year-old, 15-year-old, and soon to be 18-year-old.
Wow. Damn. Crazy ages, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all girls?
All girls.
Wow. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's deep. It's deep. I'm far from cool to them. You know, it's funny. Me and Rich were talking about this. Yeah. And then
it's okay.
When you go through divorce, it changes a lot.
I'm sure, man.
You know,
the dynamic with the kid, everything, right?
Everything changes, and it's really where divorce really turned me into a parent. Like I really learned about being a parent, being a father. And thank God, thank Buddha that I found Buddhism, because Buddhism, something that I had lost in my marriage was my spirituality.
Gotcha.
And then once I got divorced, I found it because I had nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So Buddhism put me in a path where I really got to learn about my inner compassion. Compassion for myself, compassion for my kids, compassion for my ex. Like I really understood the depths of suffering in order to understand the depths of compassion and joy.
Love that. Yeah.
So, it was a real interesting time for me, and learning how to be a father. And
were you living in Orlando when you got divorced still?
Yeah.
You separated? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it got to a point where I couldn't be in the space where I was in. I had really major several bouts of depression to where, suicide was in play.
What's the thought? Yeah.
Yeah. Several times. And I just knew that, stuff had to give, and, Instagram is a hell of a tool, because it's where I found the partner that I'm with right now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And how I ended up coming to LA.
Okay. So you were out there when you guys met on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Wow. How many years ago?
God, 2015.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Was when we first.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't dating back then,
Yeah.
but we were first. Maybe 2014. I kind of known her on the gram and
Got
kind
you.
of. But yeah.
Was it grounded on a spiritual level or something? Is it why you
Yeah,
connected?
yeah. You know, I saw how she was living her life. You know, she has a pretty crazy story. You know, being, her parents being communists, being in the struggle. Her father working with Black Panthers, being in the struggle for social justice.
Wow.
You know, tied to really curating some spaces in LA that are really for social justice. He was really instrumental in pioneering some of the social justice warriors, such as Patrisse Cullors, who is the founder of Black Lives Matter. She learned strategy from Melinda's father.
Wow.
So, and a lot of radicals as far as social justice came through Eric Mann, who is really just Eric and Leanne, who are both really tied into a lot of political movements such as farm workers, the fight against the metro system within LA as far as policing on the metro systems and stuff like that. Yeah. So they're really social justice. She grew up in that.
Yeah.
Right? And then she was a plus size model for many years and in that music industry and dated rappers and models and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I first met her, I was really intrigued by her. I was like, wow, she's living all this. But she was a single mother. And I don't remember. It was one post that she was talking about traveling. And I was like, yeah, I wish I could be like that. And then we just started this vibing off each other. And then that morphed into something.
It's awesome, man.
And then the next thing you know, shit popped off in Orlando. And I wasn't expecting to come out to LA as soon as I did. But something happened. And she was like, well, why don't you just come out to LA? And I was like,
that was it.
And bro,
that's a positive.
Here you are.
That's a positive, beautiful story from Instagram.
I know, right?
Yeah. You don't hear too many, do you?
You get like F you.
Yeah.
That's like a. I'm sure there's people out there that met people on the gram for
that's
sure.
So funny.
But that's like a beautiful one. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't a catfish. It wasn't any of this. You know what I'm saying?
No, it really wasn't, and it could have really
been.
It really could have been. And to be honest with you, I had actually met three amazing, or two prior to Melinda. Two amazing women off Instagram. So Instagram for me was really
that's your spot.
Right? Yeah, it was it was the hot spot.
Okay,
it was the original hot spot for me. No,
I'm sure there's a lot of stories like that. I'm sure.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the only one.
It's nice though to hear that.
But you know, it was really amazing, and I came out to LA. And if you'd have told me that I would be in a living or a room with Toby Morse and Chappelle Lacey right now on the microphone, I would be like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You know what I mean? Because Mike was like, you know, just the fact that we know Mike Rapika. You know, I call him the Don.
He's so nice.
He's such a good cat, man. But, you know, and I wouldn't have thought that I'd be on the podcast, to be honest with you. To be totally honest.
Dude, as soon as I met you, I felt a vibe already. Like, at the Taco Vega, I knew we were going to be hanging, dude. Kidding me, man? Just talk about all the different records.
That's how I felt like, when we met. I mean, because I just only met you a few days ago.
I know,
you know what I mean? And
I told him, because he's like, we hung out so fast, introduced him to my whole entire world. Like
I said, Toby, introduce me to one more person, I swear to God. This is like, before I met you, though.
There's maybe one person you might have met that might not be, doesn't really chill with us.
Yeah.
But every single band, every single person, every single, like, every time I had a podcast, one of his favorite bands pull up, these guys went, oh my God, that band. He didn't know all the shit about him. I was like, you're going to meet my dude. You're going to love him. I only met him once, but totally positive vibes.
Oh my
and then
God.
After the other day, it's like, yo, you're right.
Yeah.
I fuck with this dude. Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, if I meet another.
Because he's not really like a people person or hangout person.
Yeah. I'm sure you met some heavyweights too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you met some douchebags too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew when I met you the vibe, and then I remember your name through Mike, and then Rich Roll, and then, and your boy was mad cool.
Yeah,
sober
man.
guy.
Yeah. Eric Paskin.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Captain Recovery. Yeah. And that's the thing. You know, we talk about, you know, just bringing it back full circle. Like, I made a conscious decision that I can't be around toxic individuals.
No, man.
Yeah.
I can't be.
I'd rather be by
around
myself
them.
than do that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I've sat in enough Vipassanas. I've sat, for those who don't know, it's a silent retreat, silent meditation.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah. So I've sat in enough to where I can ruminate and really meditate on who and who not to be around when I'm in that space.
Yeah.
Because I value my space.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you got to be really wise. Like, the people that you are around, you're bringing that energy with you everywhere you go. Everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And if it's negative, it's bad, man.
And it's important to be in tune with that. You
to
know,
be mindful of that.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I mean, especially if you have these aspirations, these things you want to do, you know, these things you want to accomplish. You know, I think Toby and I were just talking about this yesterday when we were hiking. I think, you know, when people say, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be this, I want to be that, I think you got to find it's all got to be grounded in something. Yeah. In some type of substance. Because you can see it and be like, I want to do that. Yeah. But what's it grounded in?
What is the substance?
What is the substance? What is it? You know, is it grounded in? You know, I think we were saying, like I was saying, you know, if you want to, people that say things like, oh, if I do this in life, I'll be happy. But it's like, well, you got to have the happiness before you do the thing that you're trying to do. Yeah. That's I strongly believe that because, you know, I think that's how I feel with my comedy. Mm-hmm. And just to give you a little backstory,
which is really dope, by the way.
Yeah, I quit comedy in 2013 after my brother died because, you know, it was just like I was like, I don't want to do this. It wasn't fulfilling me, and I wasn't happy about it, and I just wasn't happy in general. And then when I went on this, you know, journey of rebuilding my soul pretty much after, you know, losing my brother. Indeed. And then all of a sudden comedy just found its way back to me and I was just like, yeah, I could do this now and enjoy it again like I used to because I've found this, you know, I'm grounded in this like happiness. Yes. You know, like, cause I'm like, oh, I know what I am without this. When I wasn't doing it, I know what I'm like. Yes. And when you know that about yourself, man, you'll go further in what you're trying to do than you ever could have imagined.
Bro, I'm sure you can probably relate to that with music.
Totally.
And your career, right?
100%, yes.
And I can relate to that totally because I know for a fact when you're in that dark place, and I know it's a dark place to be in, and you, Toby, and I'm sure you've been in a dark place where, you know, you're like, it can either go this way or it can go that way. Right?
Yeah.
And in the minute that you find some solace in something and you latch onto that, that's just it's a stepping stone. And then you're like, oh, then this happens. And then the picture becomes clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. And then you realize, oh, now I realize because that happened for me when in that darkness, in that tunnel that I thought was this like, man, I don't think I'm ever going to see that light. Buddhism helped me see that light so much more clearer, right? Yeah. It made me see that light so much more clearer to where I knew I could be anything that I wanted to and I could show up how I really needed to. And that made me have an interest for music again. And that made me have an interest for Tai Chi again because that was stuff that I had lost and I just given up, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why do I want this? This is not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
But then I found it again through new eyes and a new vision.
New eyes.
I love that.
And then it was like, oh, it's like how I'm sure you see. And I gotta say, 5-year plan is my shit.
Thank you, man.
It's my shit. It's my shit.
Thank you, man.
I want to start singing it, but I don't know. I'll muffle up the words. Anyway, but when you sing that, when you first sung it, it probably has a different connotation when you sung it like 10 years after. And now when you sing it, I bet it has so much more of a different meaning.
That's a good point.
And meditation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you see it through different eyes and different visions.
For sure, man. And through all my life experiences since I wrote it, for sure. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah. So it's deep, you talking about your brother and that how it brought you back to comedy, because it's usually something really and I say it and I don't. You can apply it. I apply it within my Buddhism, but in all facets of life, I think when you go through such a depth of suffering in whatever it is, you really see the goodness of life and what life can really entertain if you really put it in its fullest potential and totality. Because you've already known what it is to be in the lowest of low. So now knowing that, and rebounding off that and climbing yourself up and having the compassion and having the love and having that equanimous spirit, knowing that you're here in the fullest potential, in your fullest, greatest way that you can, that cannot be shaken, stirred. It's so powerful.
Yeah. I mean,
without getting too deep.
No.
No, I love that.
And I would, secretly still go and watch comedy. Like, even though I wasn't going on the stage, I would go to shows by myself. I would just go watch comedy shows, kind of sit, far back in the corner and just watch, because I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't know if I didn't know if I would ever do it again. Yeah. But when it did come about, I was like, there's something special about that. I was like, I was like, me getting back on the stage is not a mistake, and a person has to be in tune with that. You have to understand that, because otherwise you're going to be like, oh, okay, that was fun, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then kind of just try to figure out what the hell I would have done in life. But I was in tune with the fact that, like, wow, what that was saying something. That was a message. That's crazy. And then, boom.
We're glad you came back.
Me too. And Chappelle, I have a question for you. Were you talking heavy about your life before you lost your brother? Were you talking about?
That's the thing too. No.
What, you talking about being adopted and all that shit?
Nope.
I was
everything. Everything I was saying before was so
great point.
Ugh, it makes me cringe thinking about the way I would talk on stage before.
But you needed to in order to get where you're at now.
It just lacked so much authenticity. And then I remember what made me get in tune with it is when I got on stage again, and I hadn't really done it like that. I would try to do it here and there, and I would try to do like an open mic, and I was just like, ugh. And then, I went up on a big stage, due to some homies, and I just said something, that was just about me and like real and true.
Yeah.
And people laughed at it, and I was like, oh, I could talk about real things. Yeah. I was like, I could talk about what's in my world. Yeah. I was like, these people don't know me.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're learning about me through the shit I'm saying.
Yeah, I love that.
And that I'm having fun with. And also, like, I'm not like self-deprecating. I don't really talk down on myself on. Yeah. I think that's weird. I mean, for me. Yeah. Because I don't think I'm. I don't know. I just don't self-deprecate. I don't think like. I own the things that like most people would be like, oh, this was a dumb thing that I did. I'm like, yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I kind of just own it, and having that and that kind of
mindset.
Mindset. It just gave me this energy to just do it. And then I moved to LA, and it was the first because I moved away from home a lot, and that was the first time when I moved to LA. That was the first time I moved away from home without any baggage, anything like any dark cloud hanging over my head.
Slap me real quick. Because I know that. Oh, we're good. It's okay. I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Because I would move away a lot due to the shit that was just going on at home. And, you know, and I was just like, man, I need to get out of Arizona, you know. But leaving with that kind of energy, it kept bringing me back. It was like, oh no, you ain't done yet. Yeah, no, you gotta figure this all out, and it would pull me back to Arizona. And so when I, you know, moved to LA and I packed up my U-Haul, I was like, wow, that is, I just felt a big burst of energy that I've never felt before. That I don't know, it just made sense. Yeah, everything just made sense right then and right there. To just like, I'm leaving without having the shit hanging over my head. That's and to have that, man, it's
a beautiful feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, I just keep thinking about that. Like, I'm like, why do I keep going back to Arizona? I was like, I talk all this shit about it, and that was it. Yeah. I was talking all this shit about home and the people there and the people I didn't like, and I wasn't at peace. Yeah.
Now you're at peace.
Oh, big time.
And now that it's like you went from bag lady.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And now you're not carrying that. And that's another thing that was really great for me was that as I came to LA, like I just got rid of all my past physically and spiritually. Yeah. And that's no knock on, you know, Florida, but I had to. Yeah. I had to. And coming to LA was one of the really greatest things for me. And I don't know if it was for you. It sounds like it was for you.
100%.
Yeah. And I'm sure that it really did something for your edge as far as comedy, because now you're in the hotbed of LA, right? Where there's, you know, Tommy Davidsons, the Corey Holcombs, the you know all the heavyweights are around you.
All the heavyweights are around you, and I was in a position in Arizona to where I was like a big dog, but you don't carry that. Here. Yeah. Only thing I knew I could carry was my work ethic. So I was like, I can't carry this energy of being a big dog because I see who's out there. Yeah. You know, and for me to think that I could come in and match that. And it's like, no, listen, that was like, Arizona was JV for me. Yeah. That was junior varsity. Yeah. Here is varsity. Yeah. You know, so it's like you got to, and most people don't understand that when they move. Anyone that does comedy outside of LA and New York, they don't realize that, hey, you're walking into a big market with some big dogs that just destroy, and everybody looks at them. Yeah. Everybody's looking at those big dogs. Damn. They ain't looking at you.
That's heavy, right?
Yeah. But reading is what helped me understand that. Just educating myself on the regular, and not even on comedy. Educating myself on individuality, what's important and what's not important, how to navigate, how to feel, how to react to things. Like, you know, hey, you're not going to get some things. You're not going to get up that easy when you get out there. Don't take it personal. Yeah, you know, like, and you got to have that kind of understanding. But that was just from reading. That you know,
I also think that from reading like Rollins books and getting into punk rock and all the stuff you came from. I feel like that the DIY, just everything, your ethics, really helps you as a comedian as well. Your attitude, the way you do your merch, just everything you do, the way you maneuver, comes from that.
Yeah, you know? And I just feel like I honestly feel like I'm never disappointed. You know, and I know, or never disappointed. Like like to where I'm like, man, I didn't get that, man. And it like when people get rejected from an audition or a gig, bro, it breaks their heart. Whereas like me, I'm like, oh, not that one. There's probably something else.
Yeah, but you built yourself to that level now. Not everyone is at a level where they can take rejection like that.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You built yourself like that.
Yeah.
Through this work, through the reading, and through the because.
And even when listen, as I've been climbing up, it does not get easier.
No, I'm sure it doesn't.
It gets harder. Yeah. Because now you're in a world like, you know, like it just being the. Comedy is hard. Yeah. Comedy is tough, especially more so now with the world of social media, you put stuff out there, people can see it, but also people can come to your page and write you and say some shit. And you also have to have the mental stability for that. I'm not saying I get a lot of hate, but I get hate that amongst the level that I'm at. Yeah. So like there's people that will come and say some shit and they feel like they're, and I get so many friends that just like, how do you handle that? I'm like, okay, the mental, like it's a mental toughness and mental stability that you.
But again, your past, I think a lot of what you've talked about through experience, through life tragedies, through whatever. I mean, you got a pretty heavy story too. So, I mean, what you've seen, along with what you're talking about with the DIY work ethics, it goes a lot. Yeah. It goes a long way. Yeah. And, I'm sure you have certain folks that you really trust, that you really admire, who you can go to and talk to. Mm-hmm. And I've heard you talk about a therapist too, right?
Yeah. How you know my life, dog?
Come on, man. Come on.
I've had like 3 anger management teachers that over the
So
teens to teens, in my teens and in my 20s.
What's the difference between anger management and therapy?
So anger management is a little bit more raw, I would say. Okay. Because it basically is like, yo, this is what happened. This is it gives you everything right then and there, what it is. This is what happened to you. All right, here's how we're going to deal with it. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is what we're going to do. Like they let me know one thing right off the bat. They're like, your anger is never going to leave. Everybody has anger, True. And they're like, your level of anger, that's what you know best. But like, here's what we can do with it. So that was what like helped me. And they were just like honest. Like they're like, what do you like, you being mad at this person, what is that going to do? What's it going to do? Was it like, and I'm talking about like a person that, I grew up with an abusive stepfather. Yeah. They're like, okay, so what now? Are you around him anymore? Or like what's up? So then it helps you. It's just like, okay, yeah. And the beautiful thing of it is like, they like my anger management teachers, all 3 that I've ever had, they never talk shit about my stepfather. And they wouldn't let me talk shit about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's that compassion piece.
For sure.
Exactly.
That's that compassion piece.
So understanding that, it was like, oh, whoa, wow. Now I felt like my world was all about me, and I'm like, damn, what the hell have I been doing in my world? Because I was so focused on this person that I wasn't even living with or around anymore, but had this like anger towards, and then and it made me miss out on my individual self. And I was like, oh shit, that it big eye opener. Damn. Big eye opener, man.
I tell you, it's humbling. Yeah. It's humbling.
That's what I want to reply to people sometimes whenever they come to talk shit on my page or anyone's page or anything. I go, don't miss out on understanding yourself,
And then, I think we can all relate to the experiences. I mean, just hearing about your story and how many siblings do you have?
2.
2. And your mother, single mother? Yeah. Pretty much.
That's my dad.
I mean, and having to navigate life through that. And then, talking about not really having your friends on the streets of your family, you know what I mean? 100%. And you're having to navigate and then seeing what you saw enough to shake and stir you to be like, I don't want to ever do drugs and I don't want to ever do alcohol because I've seen what you've gone through. So, again, these experiences that we go through our life shape and narrate and really alter to where we are at right now, to where we can have these conversations. I agree. Right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that, when you talk about anger management, my anger management was sitting in silence for 8 hours.
8 hours. I was gonna ask you how long you don't talk for
this
retreat.
Yeah. You're in it. You're in it. And that was my anger management, because I've always suffered with anger.
Mm-hmm.
I've always suffered with anger. Anger is, I talk about my father in reverence, but I learned a lot of anger from my father, and that volatile anger. And as I came up, and even with my kids, I saw how volatile I was in their early years with my anger. And I remember a time when I was really, really just not feeling myself, but I was meditating, and I remember, man, all that energy you are wasting in that anger. Mm-hmm. You could be doing this.
Yeah.
And it was like an aha moment for me.
And even with like all the stuff you do in spiritually and physically, you still having the anger, right?
Oh yeah.
You weren't getting it out that way.
Yeah. And then it was really deep, because I remember once I had made that breakthrough, how I was with my kids at that time. And I know they thought I was the nuttiest bastard on the earth, because I was just talking to them on some like Dalai Lama shit, and they were like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Compassion and equanimity and mudita and vedna and chitta, and what are you talking about?
I just want to be a kid. I
just want to be a kid." And I'm like, I just don't. I'm just like, I don't want you all to be angry at each other. I just want you to love each other. And they're like, yeah, but
damn,
kids are funny, man.
Kids are funny, man. But it was all of these experiences have led me to, to the point where I'm at right now, which is I have a really great life. Mm-hmm. I'm breaking generational traumas. I am breaking cycles.
Yeah.
Generational cycles that have been really unhealthy within my own life structure. I'm getting to break them.
That's
I was just talking to my partner about this the other day. Like, it feels so amazing, and I'm able to deal with hard shit with compassion and ease. Mm-hmm. And I know people use words very freely and very loosely, but I really hold on to these words, because words in Rasta we say words equal sound, and sound equals power. So I really feel like when you say words, you bring them into full existence. Yeah. And for me, I really deal with that realm where, like, I can't really deal with the Ray out there, and I don't want to deal with all the I don't like. I'm not into beef. I'm vegetarian. I'm vegan. So you know what I mean. I don't rule. So the whole fact that I don't deal with toxic individuals, and I try to stay away from certain spaces and stuff like that, is because I've gone through so much and seen through all this stuff where I just want to reside in a place where I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Right?
As you should be, as you deserve to be.
So I get to run. I get to run whenever I want to. I get to, thanks to Jared, my new love is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice.
Shout out to Ettore BJJ. That's a new love for me that I never fought. And it was because a really good friend of mine passed away a month or so back. And one of his last words was, get into the art. Stay dangerous. I want you to stay dangerous.
Yep.
So, to him, I have the time. I have the money.
Yeah.
I can do that now. I think that's me.
Yeah.
I think it's always been me. It's always been me. But
Are you
I'm
still teaching classes and all that stuff?
I still teach. I still teach class. Let me turn this fucker off. It's like, where are you, man? Where are you? Okay, beautiful.
Still teaching, all that stuff. Right?
Yeah, so I still teach. At the moment, I'm hopefully on pace to really cultivating my practice as far as Dharma, and maybe becoming a Dharma teacher sooner or later, where I really, not in a monk sense, but I'm able to, propagate and spread the word of, Buddha and so forth. And,
awesome.
And then, bringing music out. I'm still doing music. Yeah, I'm all over the place doing diversity, education, inclusion work with North Face, really.
Oh, wow. It's cool.
So, as part of that, this Explorer Fund Council, which was to bring equity into outside spaces and to educate not only people within North Face, but, create a tool book for people who are interested in really speaking upon educating folks about getting more Black, Indigenous people of color out into these outside spaces, because it's a very foreign space for folks. And luckily for me, just with certain adventures that I've been on, I feel that I can speak and be a champion for that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm all over the place, mate. Google, I did a Google campaign. I'm on another Google campaign that's coming out. So my face is going to be kind of a little bit everywhere. So,
it's awesome, man.
I'm all over the place, man. I'm trying to be like Toby and Chappelle. I'm trying to do tours, man. I'm trying to do tours. I'm trying to get book deals. I'm trying to get...
one of my questions is, are you optimist or pessimist? But you seem 100% positive person.
Yeah, pessimist. Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
even in your darkest times, still kept it positive, right? Back then.
Yeah, I had no choice.
Yeah.
I got too many people riding. It was like, come on, man, what are you doing this for?
Isn't it wild? Like when you, and sad to say, some people don't necessarily get to figure that out. But when you're at your darkest times, you just start thinking about other people.
Yeah,
and you're like, damn,
you do.
And it just makes you go, fuck. I mean, what am I? I'm doing a disservice not only to these other people, but also to my own soul.
Yes.
That
was the thing. Like, I thought I was too busy, I was thinking about myself, but then I was thinking about my kids, and then I was thinking about my parents, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? Mm-hmm. People need you.
Yes.
100%.
People need you. And then there's people who you don't think that need you that do need you. And that tell you that they needed you when you tell them what you were going through. Like, dude, you were going through that. I needed you.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, man, it's like now more so than ever, I am mindful of everything that I do and the intentions and what I'm putting into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting any younger, as we all know.
100% no.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you got to value time and maximize your time wisely.
Yeah.
So if you're going to maximize your time, just try to be the best human that you can be. Well, that's me. I don't know about other people, but for me, that's why the pessimist shit, I used to be, there was a time where I was a bit pessimistic about life, but that was because I wasn't hipped to the knowledge that I know now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It was a lack of education.
It was. I had to learn that I had to breathe, and I had to lean into the hardness. I had to lean into, because it's not until you explore and you navigate and then you investigate is until you find the answer. You're not just going to find the answer just like that.
Yeah.
You have to explore and you have to investigate, and there's going to be things that are going to come up that are not going to be nice. That is going to be real ugly. But you have to sit with it, and when you sit with it and you breathe into it, that's when the clarity comes.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have like you meditate too every day?
Daily.
Yoga every day?
No, not yoga every day, but I try to run every day.
Every day?
Yeah, every day.
Wow, and at nighttime, that's right, nighttime, we talked about it. Yeah.
It doesn't matter, I was telling the homie this the other day, it doesn't matter whether it's a mile or 10 miles. Just getting out there.
Yeah.
Just getting out there. Because it's therapy for me.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? It's therapy for me. I can go run. It's the best. It's one of the greatest forms of meditation for me. Because I can go run. I can either clear my mind. I can go through all the things and compartmentalize.
Yeah.
I can just tune in. I can tune out. I can have conversations with Buddha. I can not have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It's all what I want to do.
Yeah.
Right? The beautiful thing about the jiu-jitsu is that it gives me the beginner's mind again. Mm-hmm. I'm in a really scholarly phase of my life. So I love reading. I love learning. And for me, it's a great chance for me to be a scholar again. Mm-hmm. And then I love to read.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like I'm a kid again. I feel like I'm in school. I never want to stop learning.
I love that.
I never want to stop learning. And that really for me really is I want to learn how to become the best possible ally I can be for somebody in a queer trans space. I want to read up and be the best ally I can be for somebody who's fighting who is fighting white supremacy and white patriarchy. I want to read up on that. Yeah. I want to also read up and learn how to be the most compassionate human that I can be without being a douchebag.
Yeah. I love that. Do you listen to music when you run? Because some people don't.
I do. I go through phases. I do and I don't. You know, there's times when I just want to go run and I just want to hear the birds chirp and hear the birds sing and hear everything around me. And there's times when I love to put on some Alice Coltrane. I like to put on some Motorhead. I like to put on... Dude, I got an eclectic taste when I run.
Yeah.
Because running is highs and lows. Right? And it's about whatever comes up, comes up. So that's how I like my music. Whatever comes up, comes up.
Kind of surprise you when you're running, just like a...
I put it on shuffle, man. I put it on shuffle. It might be Freddie Gibbs. It might be Archie Shepp. It might be H2O. It might be J-Roo. You know what I mean? I put it on... I have an eclectic taste.
And you did marathons too in the past?
Yeah.
And you listen to music too and do marathons?
Yeah. No music.
Okay.
Too many people out there, man.
Okay.
Too many people out there.
Smart.
Too many people out there, and it's just catch the vibe.
Okay.
You've got to be present.
I like
that.
You know,
be present with the people. You know what I mean? Any race. But, you know, for me, the biggest thing for me is running, you know, because I come from run crew culture. So running with people that not necessarily are runners, people that have been running for a long time, kids. Yeah. I like running with everyone.
I like that too.
Yeah. I like that type of run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not really big into, man, I want to be like a, 650 mile runner and all that type of shit. Everyone's got their lanes for that. My lane is I like to run with the people. Yeah. I like to run and catch a vibe with folks. And if I don't run with folks, then I want to run with like minds.
I love that. I want to step up my running for sure, and I think you'd be the one.
We're going to do it. Yeah, we're going to do it because.
Good for y'all, man. Good for y'all.
No, you coming too, mate. You coming too. I've got. Listen,
I'm happy for y'all.
Listen, you hear it first. You hear it first. You're gonna see on Lacey's page. He's gonna have some run shoes. You're gonna see him running. This cat is gonna be running like a fool, like the Black Forrest Gump.
I'm really happy for y'all. That, keep going.
Let's get to the real fun shit right now, which is your top 5 MCs.
Oh my God, top 5. Well, first off. In no particular order, I'm going to have to put Rakim Allah in there.
That's my number 1. Yes.
Rakim Allah is definitely in there. I'd probably have to say KRS-One.
He's in there for me. Yep.
I would probably have to say Big Daddy Kane.
Woo.
Damn.
Okay.
Because Big Daddy, for me, in the era that I was coming... See, Big Daddy was... Yeah, Big Daddy's first album... I went to Albee Square Mall.
Albee Square Mall, I know. Yeah.
And I went in there to the music place, and I remember picking the vinyl up, and I still got it to this day.
Still have it?
Still got it to this day.
Man.
Still got it to this day.
Original press.
Damn. Yeah,
I got a lot of those original presses.
You have a big vinyl collection. That's right.
I got a big vinyl collection.
Damn.
So that's my top. I would say that would probably be my top 3, and then. It's a hard one because There's so many great MCs out there.
I know.
I could put Jada in there. Jada.
Incredible, man.
Yeah, Jada is incredible. I could put Black Thought in there.
Incredible.
Damn. Yeah.
Because Black Thought is incredible. But we are talking top 5.
None of these are wrong.
Top 5. We're talking top 5. I'm gonna put one. I have to put one in there because he is very, 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 very. And I know I haven't gone West Coast yet, but I know all of this is East Coast. But I'm gonna put him in there. Grand Puba Maxwell from Brand Nubian.
Amazing.
Like when you talk about style and originality and what he did in an era where he kind of fused black nationalism and it was pretty. So I'm gonna put probably Grand Puba in there.
He's never been put in the top, which is incredible, man.
And notice that there's a trend because I got 3 5%ers in there, which is pretty deep. All right, so my last one.
No Chuck D in there, huh?
No.
Okay.
I love Chuck,
Okay.
and I was just listening to Fear of a Black Planet, but I can't put him up there in the Mount Rushmore.
Respect.
The last one to round it out, the last MC.
Drum roll.
Oh, my God. All right, you know what? Grand Puba, I'm going to take Grand Puba back out because I got 2.
Damn.
MF Doom.
Wow.
Damn.
I saw him back in the day with KMD.
Dude.
When he was in KMD, yeah.
I got to say, man, MF Doom, lyrically.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Big Daddy, we got Rakim, we got last one. I said MF Doom, right?
Yep.
He said KRS.
Oh, my God. It's going to, you know what? It's going to be out of these 2. It's going to be out of. It's going to have to be out. God,
I love how tough this question is.
Top 5s are hard.
That's a tough question for anybody.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm surprised at one. This is what happens. See what you get right now.
It's out of 3. It's out of Grand Puba. It's out of Jada. I feel like I'm missing one.
Guru? Nas, Jay-Z,
Nas.
Biggie?
Nas.
Jay-Z, Biggie? Yeah.
Nas.
Yes.
I forgot Nas.
Yes.
Nas. Can I put a sleeper in there?
Sure.
I got to put a sleeper. Cool G Rap.
Insane.
Ooh,
Incredible.
okay.
Cool G Rap's incredible, man.
Cool G Rap.
Nobody ever mentions him in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cool G Rap. I mean, Streets in New York, Road to the Riches.
Road to the Riches, yeah.
Oh, my God. Poison. I mean, you got to remember, him and Big Daddy were on pace to be like neck and neck. Actually, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, and Rakim. And Cool G was too gangster with it.
He was so street, dude.
He
Yeah,
was
dude.
too street with it.
Yeah, dude.
And then Big Daddy got to a point where he was too ladies with it. And that's when Rakim took the mantle for me.
Okay.
Because Rakim still had that element of street. He still had the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but was so enigmatic that he had tracks called Mahogany that could speak to the ladies, talking about how he could finesse them with his mind and intellect and how the mind. Come on, man. Come on. It's a really hard one because, Jay-Z is not. Jay-Z's on a lot of Mount Rushmores. He's not on my Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
Or Biggie.
No. And Biggie is top 10.
Okay, yeah.
Biggie's top 10. But you're talking about, I mean, the verses with KRS and Big Daddy Kane showed you why these guys have literally songs upon songs upon songs upon songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rakim. I literally listen to Rakim. I literally listened to Follow the Leader in its entirety the other day. And when you talk about lyrical structure and lyrical wordplay and how he really breaks down the mind.
Yeah. Yeah. How about no native tongue stuff?
Wait, I don't think I've ever heard yours.
Mine's Rakim, KRS-One. Rakim, KRS-One, Nas, Biggie. Nas, Biggie, KRS-One, and Jay-Z for me, man. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
You put Jay-Z in there, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. I always loved him since Reasonable Doubt, man. His whole story, everything about, not just the music, it's everything about him.
Everything about, yeah. I would say that I have a newfound respect for Jay. I do now, because I was never really a Jay fan, to be honest with you. I was definitely more of a Biggie fan. Jay just didn't really do much for me. The one track is Imaginary Player.
Yeah, which record is that from?
I want to say that's
It's later.
no, that's Reasonable Doubt. Is
Imaginary
it?
Player on the
Is
first?
it?
Oh yeah.
Or is that in volume? What was
I
that?
have to look it up.
It's one of the first ones,
Okay, yeah.
1 or 2. But Imaginary Player, that album I like.
Okay.
All the other Jay-Z albums, I'm just
Not
not.
the Black Album.
Nah.
But we don't talk about.
Watch the Throne. Watch the
That's
Throne.
great. That's
Watch
amazing
the Throne.
too.
Watch the Throne.
But like Tribe, De La, Leaders of the New
Q-Tip,
School.
because Q-Tip is a great. When you talking about MCs, to me, A Tribe Called Quest is A Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
When you talk about De La is De La. When you talk about,
It's off
I-
of my lifetime.
it was my
Yeah,
lifetime.
I knew it was
Yeah,
over,
yeah, okay.
Black Moon.
I mean, Buckshot is an incredible MC,
Crazy,
but it's Black Moon. It's the same thing with Smith and Wesson.
Smith
I
and
can't
Wesson,
say Tech is a better MC than Steel, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're defining MCs,
Yeah.
I'm always scared to say mine.
I want to hear yours. What is yours?
But Guru too, though.
Guru's in my top 10.
Me too.
Guru's in my top
100%,
10.
dude.
Guru's in my top 10. Daily Operation, Full Clip.
Yeah.
Step into the
Step into the
arena.
arena.
That's what I'm saying. You guys talk so deep on it that I'm like, I don't even.
Hard
I
to
wouldn't
earn.
even.
Hard to
Man.
earn.
Woo!
Come on, I want to hear it.
What do you got, Chappelle?
Okay, and
Keep it 1
yeah.
million because you're younger.
I'll keep it 1
You're
million.
younger.
Yeah.
In no particular order.
Yeah.
Common.
Beautiful.
Nobody ever says Common.
No, Common. No.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ice Cube.
Okay.
Nobody ever says that.
yeah.
Amazing.
I love Ice Cube.
I
Yeah.
know you do.
Ghostface.
Now,
Woo!
Ghostface
I
makes
love
my top
Ghostface.
10. Ghostface
Okay.
makes my top 10.
Okay, that's a fair
I
one.
got Raekwon in mind for sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn, bro, these are good.
Yeah.
No.
Those are great to me.
I
Of
love
your era,
Common,
yeah.
man.
Common is
Common like
So
hits,
positive.
Common,
Yeah,
Common
yeah.
hits me in a way that makes me just like fucking feel it and just like
I agree, dude.
you know like
the Beat
energy-
album.
The
Beat album.
That's
The
the,
Beat- the Beat
that
album.
album
That's
specifically.
That's the epitaph right there.
That album specifically.
Yeah.
I want to be
How about
as
Water for
free as
Chocolate,
the
too?
spirits of those
Like Water
who
for
left.
Chocolate
Like-
was good,
like
but
Water
B.
for Chocolate.
The
B,
B is
B
great,
is
I
the
know.
one.
like just the opening track B.
Yeah.
you know, like
Positive.
And then Your
intro-
World.
Yeah,
The ending.
The
I mean,
ending,
yeah,
it's
your
your
world. Come on.
it's so
yeah.
posy. It's so deep.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
positive.
real.
Yeah.
I gotta put Kendrick in there.
You know what we did? Kendrick's
Brad
top
Pitt.
10 for me.
I have to.
The guy
It was-
downstairs-
What's odd? It wasn't even his early stuff that did it for me. I went back and visited his early stuff, but it was the Damn record that made me go, holy fuck! And then I went back, and then I was like, yep. This is
Section
everything.
80 for me.
How to Pimp
Yeah.
a Butterfly, all those records.
I mean,
great.
The guy downstairs doing the painting in my house, same age as you.
Yeah.
He said that like Kendrick's like this generation's Tupac. Poetry, lyrically, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't say Tupac.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would do Tupac as the comparison. Here's my thing with Tupac. Okay.
Well, give me your last one because we still got one more.
Do I have one more?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got
Oh yeah,
one more.
yeah.
I'm curious.
It's weird because it's like it's such a weird. But no one. I don't know how much you guys would really know.
Let's go.
I mean, it's most of mine are like West Coast that have come off.
Come on,
right
I'm waiting.
now.
I'm waiting. I want to hear it.
Andre Nicotina.
I don't know.
Me either.
Oh no! But you know who? You know what? No, I can't do it.
Andre
But,
3000.
yep, I was gonna say Andre.
Yeah.
Andre.
3 stacks.
But but I've never heard this one.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Actually,
it's more
top
a little bit
5 with all those. Wow, man.
more- Yeah.
Really?
Those are the ones that I like connect with on. Like each one does something differently for me. I mean, yeah, like no particular order. That obviously, like I do have like a top 10, but those ones.
LL Cool J either.
Yeah.
No,
but
no, I like LL, but no.
Oh yeah. So my thing with Tupac, it was like, I guess what was tough for me at times is like, he make a song like Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yeah.
And then he have this, and then he have the Hit 'Em Up track.
Yeah.
You know, so like I guess I just couldn't find my balance with Tupac. You know, like not saying I didn't like his stuff. I like a lot of Tupac songs, but it was hard for me to find a balance with them. You know, and don't get me wrong, I loved the harder shit, and I loved when Brenda's got a baby. You know, like
Dear Mama.
I love that stuff. Dear Mama. I love all that stuff, but it was just not someone that is like the first thought in my mind when it comes to it. Like whereas like Ice Cube, he was telling these dope stories the whole way. You know what I mean? Those first
Lethal Injection,
you know, those first
Predator,
4 albums,
America's Most Wanted,
Death Certificate, Lethal Injection, Predator,
when
like those records
got with the Bomb Squad.
Dude.
When he got with the Bomb Squad, it was a rap, man.
It was a rap, and like, and the his story, and just his story in general. You know, when you think about it, like this dude left a group at the height of everything that was like the height.
No Vaseline.
The height of like their success. They're doing these big tours, playing these big venues,
fucking arenas,
and then he was just straight up like, nah, with it. Obviously on some business level
money's
stuff,
not right, man.
You know,
but on some spiritual level shit, because you got to remember he got with Farrakhan and got with the Nation.
Yes, he did link with the Nation. He did link with the Nation. So, and then to see that someone leave that and not fall flat.
Yeah. And he's winning now. I mean, look at him now.
He's been winning.
Yeah, he has been winning.
About it.
Let's give Ice Cube his flowers, man.
Yeah,
Ice Cube is
man. He's been drink champs, man.
Yeah,
Ghostface. I'm like, that is the.
I love how this shit came out later. It was first Raekwon, then Oh Dirty Bastard, Method Man. All this kind of came out first, and he was always kind of playing the background.
Yeah,
and then when he came out, he
hit
it, dude.
That one record, Supreme Clientele.
Oh, come on, man,
Daytona 500.
That for me.
I mean, you talking about, for me, especially when it comes to Wu, it was almost like, for me, it was almost like these were like my older brothers coming up.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, for me, I came up in the 5% in that time.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was really deep for me to see these cats really coming up in that era.
Yeah.
And then to talk with the Kung Fu too. And knowing that I was in the dealing.
That's true.
It was like, I remember seeing, I was at Tower Records in Austin, Texas. And my homie who knew that I did street promotion gave me my copy of Protect Your Neck.
Ooh.
I don't know where that 12 inch is now.
I have the Kasingo still.
You have the Kasingo?
Yes, I do, yeah.
So he gave me a promo copy of the 12 inch. And I remember hearing that. And then I remember when Raekwon dropped Only Built for Cuban Links.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the record store that day and bumping it.
Dude.
For like a week solid.
Incarcerated Scarfaces? Bro. Oh my God.
Here's the thing about Wu. That'll never happen again.
No, it will never happen again.
No one could ever pull that off again.
Did anybody really try to really after that? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But
no.
That
Slaughterhouse maybe.
No.
Okay.
They no.
They got checked too.
Yeah.
There's just no, like, yes, you have like you had like Young Money, Death Row, like you had it like that, but you didn't have Wu-Tang Clan, like
no. And then
nine dudes.
Ray. Ghost.
There's no way. There's no way. All different personalities, but all seem to connect in such. There's just.
We'll never see that again. We'll never see Native Tongues again.
We'll never see that
to
again.
See groups that have a camaraderie, that have a general love of each other. I mean, that's the thing that
They get ASAP Mob. They have different things like that.
Yeah.
Tyler Creator,
just
his
no,
crew.
no.
Well, where are they now? Because you don't really see them together as much. What, Wolfgang? They were called Wolfgang or something like it was.
Golf Gang.
Golf Gang. Earl Sweatshirt.
Oh yeah.
Domo, Genesis, Tyler. See, so you can't really.
None of those. Everyone you just named never could do a 36 chambers.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And you know what I'm saying? Like there's just no.
But then you think about 36 chambers, Iron Man, only built for Cuban links, liquid swords.
Woo!
Come on. There's just none of these cats. None of these cats.
How about the video for Protect Your Neck? Like on the box, looked like a DIY like punk video, black and white.
TDE were the closest. TDE were the closest, but now Kendrick's gone.
Yeah. But those videos, the Wu-Tang, how gritty they were, like black and white. On the box, you could rent it with a video box.
It was amazing.
I know.
It was amazing. And you know, I'm wearing Clarks now, and I love Clarks.
Wallabies?
Yeah.
Wallabies.
But you gotta think these cats for bringing that back.
And where did that come from?
The Clarks?
Yeah.
So the Clarks originally were they were a status symbol for Jamaicans.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know how they came to be in Jamaica. I don't know if it was the British or what, but a lot of cats were just wearing Clarks in Jamaica, and then it started becoming like a footwear where you'd see a lot of Ross, and a lot of cats. There's a really great film called Rockers. I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you haven't,
I'll check it out.
I suggest you watch it.
And that's the Wallabies. Who titled them the Wallaby? Is that a Wu-Tang
I don't
thing?
know. I don't know where the Wallaby term came from. But the whole Clarks, the Desert Treks, the Chuckers, they all came from Jamaican culture.
Gotcha.
And they were all, and I think when Jamaican culture came into New York in the late 80s, early 90s, that culture came. Because it was a sign, when it came into Jamaica, in Jamaica culture in New York, it was more of a status of the rude boy.
Okay.
It was a rude boy symbolism, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing in England. That's how like cousins, you know, my dad and his partners wore Clarks.
Sick.
So Clarks has always been around, but then when it came into New York, it was a status symbol for the gangsters, because all the Jamaican rude boys and all the Jamaican gangsters would wear Clarks.
Interesting.
And then these cats got hip to it.
Yeah, the Wu-Tang was just,
and
like
then
they brought it to the hip hop.
Oh, they brought it to another level.
Yeah, the Wu-Tang ones, everything.
Yeah.
And then what about? I have a question. What about bucket hats?
Bucket hats. So were we talking about that?
Yeah, but it's a thing now.
Obviously, it's a really big thing.
Obviously,
now.
know it's an England thing. Obviously, know EPMD rocking them.
Mm-hmm.
Cypress Hill rocking them.
Yeah, Cypress Hill.
Hove was recently, but I'm saying back then the bucket hats.
Yeah.
But yeah, like LL Cool J in the
where he was wearing the Kango ones.
Yeah.
So bucket hats. I don't really know where the science of bucket hats really came from. I just know that they really were a symbol for. It was New York.
Yes.
Well,
like
I thought it was like the European football culture.
Was it really?
I don't know.
I thought they were fishing hats.
I thought I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just throwing it out there. This is me rolling the dice.
I don't remember it so much in England as opposed to here.
Yeah.
I saw it more in the hip hop, like EPMD, LL, even Cypress.
Yes,
even Cypress. Like when Cypress first came out, they were wearing bucket hats.
Yeah. Sendog was,
But, you know, shit, I remember Caddyshack. It was like, you know what I mean?
Caddyshack.
You know, we saw it more so hip hop.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you said like Fisher, was it like a fisherman hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Originally put your
tackles on and stuff like that.
It's
but you got to remember
though
too that fisherman vests were really big back in the late 90s, mid 90s in hip hop. The vests.
Where they put all
fishing
their
vests.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
They were really big too. But
Carhartt, all that shit.
Yeah. But the bucket hat, I don't really know where the bucket hat came from, but I know in the late 80s, You got to remember Rocksteady. B-boys were rocking bucket hats.
Oh, yeah, and Beat Street, they're all...
Yeah, everyone's...
Right.
Exactly.
Rocksteady crew.
Everyone was rocking.
It's just something taken from something that's made for, then put in. It's so cool and stuff like that happens. Like the worker gear, like the car back in the 90s. We all rocked that shit.
The
Run
vest.
DMC.
What?
Run DMC was rocking them.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. When they were doing the Down with the Kings joint and they were running with the Onyx, everyone was wearing Carhartt.
Carhartt's Ben Davis came to the East
Ben
Coast.
Davis. Ben
Dickies,
Davis.
obviously.
And Dickies.
But Ben Davis was West Coast. Came to the East Coast.
But I love how,
Beasties.
East Coast and West Coast rock Ben Davis, but they rock it in a very East Coast way
and
a very
West Coast way.
Yep.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. But it's true.
And then Doc Martens came into hip hop. And then shaving it, called it a baldy. Like when Onyx came, it wasn't skin, it was baldies.
And I love how Doc Martens is making another comeback. And it's like Fred Perry. Fred Perry is making another comeback now.
You need to start rocking that
I saw
shit.
a lot of that when I was in the
Come on, mate. Come on. So there's a place called Poses. In on Melrose.
Yeah.
Poses is the home. They have the
there.
English ones there too.
Oh, okay.
So I would do your research and find out how much they are in England, because you might be just better off just buying them here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, what about groups? This is my. I love this shit. Okay, what about groups then? Hip hop groups. Because we got the Beasties, got Wu-Tang, De La, Mobb Deep, Tribe. I believe these are the new school.
Yep.
Black Moon. The Roots.
God, I remember the Roots.
Groups.
I'll give you a story. I remember getting the promo of the Roots. God, I remember the same day getting the promo of the Roots, and I don't remember what song it was. And on the they were both signed to Geffen and one of Jizz's tracks. And then on that same day, I got Shook Ones Part 1. Because I used to do street promotion, so I got these all on the same day. I got Roots, and this was the Roots. It was Roots. It was a Jizza track, and then there was and then another promo with Shook Ones Part 1. But yeah, man, that era, you're talking about groups. You're talking Tribe. You're talking De La. You're talking Souls of Mischief.
Gangstar.
Woo.
Fushnikins. Lords of the Underground.
There was so many. Yeah. And then West Coast. Compton's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Yeah.
That was MC8, right?
MC8, yeah.
MC8.
Wow.
And we can go,
House of Pain,
Cypress Hill. You know, the whole Souls Assassins crew. Funk Dubious.
Woo. Great record.
God,
Doobie. The Funky.
Yeah.
So much.
There's you know, when you think about, like, I don't mind the new stuff. I really don't. And I know that there was old people. You got to take it for what it is. But there was something back then, that golden era.
Yeah.
And
magical, man.
It was a magical time to the point where it was in the fashion.
Yeah.
Right? It was in the music, and I feel like there was a cross section. There was an intersection. There was a real big intersection before we even knew what that word even was. We were intersecting, and I still remember. Was it like the Biohazard and
Bionics remix? Yeah.
Like there was so many mashups.
Judgment Night
soundtrack.
You got to deep dive. That's incredible. I'm sure you heard it before though.
No, yeah, you told me about it.
Everybody's on.
Were you on that?
No, I was just in the video for the Onyx. I was in the Onyx videos and
but that was a great time.
Yeah.
Where there was the crossover.
Yeah.
Because there was a time where everyone was just really loving everyone.
Yeah.
You would get hip hop dudes listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers. You would have Red Hot Chili Peppers listening to hip hop.
You know what's so crazy when I think about it? I feel like Rage Against the Machine just became that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like people were doing these crossover as bands, and they were just like, we'll just do that. As a band.
Yeah.
You know, like
Public Enemy and then Rage. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I got to credit Anthrax and Public Enemy because they were doing tours together.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Which was
different crowds.
Different crowds.
Back then, it wasn't
that
like that.
Opened up the Rage Against the Machine Wu-Tang shows.
That's right.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Good point.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Joy, I
Oh
saw
my
those.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which were totally different crowds.
Yes.
Now it's kind of funny because Rage and Run the Jewels are touring together.
So I'm
Yep.
going to see that for sure.
Yeah.
But I remember Method Man diving in the crowd.
Yeah.
Redman after those
Yo,
tours.
exactly.
Method Man gets hyped on
Goes
stage.
hard.
It's
Man.
so dope.
And they're
Let
like-
me tell
they
you,
were the
them
first-
shows back then, when Meth used to stave dodge and
He would walk. He walks on the crowd.
He'd walk on
I
the
remember,
crowd.
I remember people were like, when I saw Wu-Tang, people were like holding him up in the air, and he was just,
Yeah.
and he's not a little
He's a
dude,
big
No.
dude, man.
and he's tall.
Yeah.
But people were holding him up. I was like,
Bro.
he goes hard.
Them Method Man on the Limp Bizkit song.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, holy
Yes.
shit. Like,
I was just listening to that the other day.
yeah, that song.
And
that
I was
video.
talking about it. Korn toured with. They brought Ice Cube on their
You're
tour.
right.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right, man.
You see what I'm saying? There was a really great time where there was a lot of intersectionality.
Yeah.
Let me not use that word. There was a lot of intersections between those genres.
100%.
And one of the
For
first
sure.
New York hardcore bands to kick it off in 1989, Sick of It All's first record, KRS-One does the intro to the album.
Come on now.
Master KRS-One, Spreading Reality, You Suckers in 89. Yeah. Sick
Come
of It All-
on.
Yeah, man, that was incredible.
And I don't know whether it was before that or after that, but do you remember KRS with was it who did he do the track with? Was it Sonic Youth or
Did he really?
Michael Stipes? Who's Michael?
Michael Stipe, REM.
REM.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yep, the KRS REM crossover.
And
Yeah.
then more so newer generation. Blink-182 and Lil Wayne did a tour together.
That's
Wow.
right. I was on that tour. I went out to those shows. Yeah, I did.
Remember that?
Yeah, and Travis did it too with Lil Wayne with Nicki Minaj on the tour. I went out to that too.
Shit, yeah.
Give the drummer some, and Travis did that solo. I went out to that.
And then when he drummed for the game on
Yep,
Blood remix?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I love all that shit. Like, I love it. Because it was so separate back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, you go to
Yeah.
a hip-hop show, just do a punk show. Now everything's like... Now I went and saw Travis Scott. There's like 2 mosh pits my son brought me to. Tyler created stage diving at his shows.
Yeah.
I love all that shit,
It's
beautiful.
Yeah, and we need it.
We Need It.
We need it.
You
I
said
think
it right
when
there.
when
You said it right
when
there.
when we got the when the kind of floodgates opened and we were like allowed to come back outside.
Yeah.
I really think a lot of these artists were like, okay, we outside. All right, let's make it a show now.
Let's make it a show.
Let's make it a show. And Tyler is a classic example of that. My daughter's got me into Tyler. Actually.
My son got me into that last record. It was incredible.
Yeah,
The Lumberjack
yeah,
song.
Lumberjack.
Woo,
like
the beats. Yeah.
Wait, his guitar player, Henderson, didn't his kids get him into Isn't he like a big Tyler
Yeah, because
the
of his
Creator
kids.
fan?
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
2 young boys.
kids. Yeah,
They're turning him on to
kids.
Vince Staples and all these other artists and stuff.
Yeah, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it's we're blessed in a way. We're kind of
Super
blessed.
blessed.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
we come from certain eras, but we can appreciate this era.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I love J. Cole. I love
Oh, I
Kendrick.
love
Bro,
it. I love
Freddie
it.
Gibbs. I love
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs. I love Freddie Gibbs. I love J. Cole. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. I get a kick out of that. And I just love the fact that, we're blessed to where we can go and appreciate these shows.
Yeah.
Go and appreciate this music. And at the same time, we can still come home, put on an old school vinyl, whether it's Fear of a Black Planet,
Yeah.
whether it's Oasis Greatest Hits,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Whether it's 5-year plan,
Yeah.
you know what I
It's
mean,
kind-
on
it's
the
kind of-
20th anniversary.
It's kind of cool hearing you guys talk because, like, you guys are obviously older than I am, and you guys came up in the era of hip hop when it was like, yo, hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so to hear you guys talk about the newer stuff today and not have this bitterness towards it and appreciate it for what it is and understand, with also understanding the time that you came from, you know what I mean? But
Everything
also
evolves.
being able to
Yeah.
understand, life is supposed to
Yeah.
evolve. You know,
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be what it was in the 90s,
Yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
You know, it's not supposed to be that. It's
'Cause
supposed to be what this era is.
Because this
Exactly.
punk and hardcore doesn't sound like the stuff I grew up on, but it's still under that umbrella of that music.
Yeah.
The mentality, the lyrics, the lifestyle, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just sounds different to me now, and I still love it because it is different. You
Yeah.
know? Like, we're not going to stay the same forever. You know?
No,
Like,
you can't. You can't. It needs to. It's like the I Ching. The I Ching is based on the oracles of life in the universe, and the premise of it is change. Change is inevitable.
yeah. I love it.
You can't. The minute that you go against change, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, I agree, man.
You got to flow with it.
Yeah, I've always been like that. I've always loved
change.
all kinds of music and been open-minded to it. And it's cool seeing my son now find his own music and bring hip-hop home for me to check out.
Yeah.
Different artists never heard of.
But like the energy of him finding it is the same energy you had when
I
you
found it.
You know what I mean?
Great
like,
point.
Exactly.
Like that's how I look at it. It's like,
exactly.
I mean, I don't have kids, but like just seeing, it's like, you know, yeah, because he's always coming up to me, showing
playing
me all,
song. I know.
playing me all this song. Yo, you got to check this song. But it's probably the similar energy to when
I was finding music. I found it differently, obviously. No internet.
Obviously, differently. No internet.
Yeah.
But that energy is
there. It's still there. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
I was just thinking I met Madonna one time, but it was at CBGB's. Cypress Hill performed at CBGB's.
Wow.
And she pulled up like in a limo, and I was with all my tatted up hardcore dudes. Just like her Madonna at CB's at a Cypress Hill show sounds crazy.
This meditate on that for a second. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Madonna pulling up to CBGB's.
Cypress Hill show.
On a Cypress Hill show.
And she was Madonna.
Wow.
She was with Freddie DeMann, her manager. Yeah, they pull up in a limo.
It wasn't like she was just like some, you know, random ladies. Like random like newer
Madonna.
artists. It's Madonna.
It was wild, man.
At a Cypress Hill show.
Yeah, in the early 90s.
At CBGB's.
Yeah.
That's blowing my mind because I know how historic that is.
Yeah. And I got to meet her. I have a tattoo of her. I had a picture of her in my wallet. She signed it. I still have it. I was a super fan.
Wow.
And she was tripping like all these dudes with tats. Like at CB's, like who would even fuck with her? You know what I mean?
Yo, that's the crazy thing about Madonna. Madonna had respect kind of everywhere.
Yeah, there was pictures of her in Lower East Side at different pizzerias that she used to go to still when she was huge. She'd pull up and get her slices on 8th Street and like 2nd Avenue. They had a picture she signed. That was her pizza spot still.
She would come. I heard some stories of her like pulling up. Like this was before like, you know, you would have to get a pass if you come into the CU or stuff like that. But in New York, she used to run with all the rappers out there, all of them.
Yeah,
like this, you know, stories of her hanging out with Q-Tip and Big Daddy and Tupac, stuff like all of those cats.
Crazy, man. Crazy. New York was just the melting pot of all that shit. Like
New York,
be there then, you know.
New York at that time. I'm so blessed that I got to, or should I say, we are blessed to see New York at that time. You know, the raunchiness of 42nd Street. Ooh. You know, the porn and the kung fu and you know,
Lower East Side, all that.
Dude,
shit.
Lower East Side, like, bro, Lower East Side.
Crazy,
there were parts of Lower East Side I couldn't go to.
Avenue C, D, all those spots. Yeah.
Bro, like Lower East Side in the 90s was Gnarls Barkley.
It was, man. Even by CB's too. It's just the area, the Bowery and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
man. Yeah. Now you look at those areas, it's like pristine, you know, Lexus dealerships.
John Varvatos is the CBGB's now. Like clubs we had like Chipotle's and stuff like that. But things change. You can't
yeah.
Lucky to have that time there, you know.
Yeah, had that time, yeah.
It was a great time, man. It was I mean, you know, we're talking about hip hop groups, Main Source.
Looking out the back door.
Yeah, dude, that introduced the way for Nas.
Like
Ultramagnetic MCs, you know what I mean? That introduced the way for Paul C. That Paul C. introduced the way to Scott LaRock. Scott LaRock introduced the way to
Third Base. Put
Base.
KMD on, which is MF Doom.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like when you,
crazy, man. I got to see Wu-Tang perform "Protect Your Neck" live for the first time. Hot 97 at the Palladium. My wife worked at the Palladium.
Wow. At the Palladium.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. And I got to be there when Oh Dirty Bastard was on the run from the law, and they performed maybe Wu-Tang Forever album at the Palladium. And at the end of the set, like a spotlight came on, and they all spread out, and this dude came out in a hoodie, and it was I just got goosebumps. Oh Dirty Bastard took off his hoodie and his hair, and he did all of his songs, and they got arrested on 42nd Street at McDonald's after that.
Wow.
It was that moment the whole crowd went crazy. And he came out, people went crazy because they were looking for him, you know what I mean? It was so crazy, bro.
You know, everyone's got a wild Wu-Tang story, so I got one for you, and it wasn't me actually seeing them. So it was one night, and I had just got off work from Whole Foods. I was at Whole Foods, and all the homies were like, yo, Wu-Tang's going to be at the House of Blues. It's a one-night show. You got to come, Hawk. You got to come. It's House of Blues in Orlando. It's where everyone came.
I rock that. It's a great venue,
man.
Yeah,
great venue. And you got to come, bro. You got to come. And I was like, And I don't remember. I think I had, was it the one or two kids? I can't remember. And I had the opportunity to go. And I was just like, I'm going home. I'm going to bed. I'll see Wu-Tang another time. Supposedly, and I heard it from several sources, it was the whole group except for, I don't remember if ODB had passed by then or what. Quentin Tarantino was there.
Oh, yeah.
And did all the ODB lyrics on
dude.
stage.
Are you fucking serious?
With the Clan.
I never even heard that.
Because isn't he tight with RZA?
Yeah, real tight with RZA.
Yeah. Wow, dude.
In Orlando, Florida.
He sang Oh Dirty Bastards verses. Holy shit, bro.
So that's, if anyone was there at the time, House of Blues, I don't remember what year. It had to be in the mid-2000s because that's when I was there. But yeah, House of Blues. And supposedly Quentin Tarantino was in crowd. RZA pulled him out, and he came out and did ODB verses.
That is that's videos wild. With nothing back then, probably for that.
Nah.
Shit. Yeah, that's incredible, man.
Yeah, because now everyone's got the camera phones. Everyone's got video. Now back then you couldn't. But
that's what's cool though. That it is a story, and you had to be there to see it.
You had to be there to see it. Yeah.
You had to be there.
You had to be there.
That's beautiful too. Like
that's way beautiful.
Yeah, it's not like stories like that. With not have footage of everything.
I always think about that, like when people do take footage, from time to time. Like I mean, if I go to a concert, I'll get my one, and then I'll put it away. Yeah. Because there's something about like,
except at the game show, I was fucking hyped.
I'm like,
there was a lot. There was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot.
But I'm like,
dude,
I think about it. I go, I can't really feel it if I have my phone up. I want to feel what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
There's something about that, and you never get that authentic feeling when it's just like, because it's like, oh, well, now you're a videographer now?
Man.
You know what I mean? Like, what? Like,
It's deep like that. And it's so funny you should say that because I remember one concert, one show, which was, and I mean, I couldn't even imagine if we had camera phones back then. It was Souls of Mischief, it was De La Soul, and Tribe Called Quest. And maybe Black Sheep was on that bill, but it was when the award tour came out. It was.
Where'd you see this?
This was in Dallas, Texas.
I saw the same thing in New York at the Palladium. I have the flyer in my photo album.
So you remember that tour?
I saw the whole lineup. Yes, I have the flyer.
See, I'm even getting.
I'm gonna show you the flyer. I have it in my freaking thing. I saw that. It was great,
bro. Let me tell you about shows. When you talk about shows where incredible. The whole crowd, and this was in Dallas, Texas, and I want to say it was like a big field. And we had pull back then because we knew Mad Flavor. We knew all the Dallas homies. So we were all... That show had to be one of the most memorable hip-hop shows that I had ever been to. When you talk about a whole crowd singing lyric for lyric, every lyric of every song.
It's true.
You don't get shows like that hardly anymore. I'm sure you might do because everyone knows your lyrics. But, shows where like it's like 4 groups.
And they all kill it.
They all kill it.
Yeah.
All of them. I miss shows like that.
Yeah, that was a beautiful show. That was a Palladium.
They don't make them like that no more.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't, man.
I saw Third Base at NYU in like a small room. It was crazy. With KMD maybe, because I definitely seen KMD once.
Yeah, because KMD was rolling hard with them back in the day.
Crazy, man. I could talk hip hop all day.
Well, I'm just knowing you're the crowd who listens to this show. I'm wondering they're probably thinking like, is Toby on one? He's talking.
No, we talk about hip hop a lot throughout.
Do we do?
Yeah, man, always do. Like people know my love for it. I feel like I know more about hip hop than I do punk rock sometimes, just because I loved it and embraced it so much. Growing up teaching breakdance in the '80s, then moving to New York, loving Run DMC, and then going to the clubs in New York and going to Sheets and Pillows, going to the Limelight, going to these West Side clubs, because me and the dudes I roll with, it was a mixed group of kids from Queens everywhere, like Puerto Rican, everything. So, and we'd rock everywhere. We'd go to the hit CB's and then go to Limelight and then go see Eric B. and Rakim. There was a shootout at the show. We had to run out down the fire escape. Billy played one song. It's a famous story. And his son was on stage as a baby. Now I know his son now.
Wow.
And I never got to see him since then until fast forward 30 years later. But we ran down the fire escapes and I saw Dante Ross the other night.
Oh shit, you know Dante?
Yeah, we both did that same show. We talked about it the other night. Yeah.
I would really love to sit with Dante.
I'm gonna have him on too because he lives close to me. I'm gonna have him on.
Oh, he does?
Shout out to Dante. Yeah. He lives
Yeah.
around
So I've met Dante a couple of times actually, and
I'll have you back on for that with him.
Well, have me back on with him
love
because,
to,
bro,
dude.
please do.
Hip hop is you too. He produced so many things.
Listen,
bass,
let me
everything,
tell you,
dude.
I will bring the vinyls that Dante's name's on.
Okay.
Like I got Brand Nubian. I got like, bro.
Okay.
Dante.
That'd be a great episode.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Because I know I come from that era.
He just did a
what I mean?
6-part episode. I heard it was crazy. But I go back with him. So we had our crew and he used to roll his. We used to see him at clubs.
Let me see if I.
Yeah, Dante.
Because he was following me, and and I don't know if I was following him. Sorry, Dante. But
let's have him on. I want to do that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll text him after this because we ran into each other he's eating vegan a lot too. At Green Table. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
we ran into him twice somewhere else too.
Yeah.
Well, he used to shop at my Whole Foods, and I would always say Dante Ross, and he'd be like, "Huh?
Dante's a scrub."
Yep.
Okay, that's gonna be the part 2.
All right,
with
cool.
Dante. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Because I could talk music all day with this
all right,
shit.
let's
dude.
do it. Let's do it.
Let me check my notes to be sure I get all my stuff about you.
I got one question.
Let's go, bro.
It's such a British question.
All right,
did you ever watch this? So this is how I got fascinated with British culture. I used to watch this show when I was a kid in the early 90s.
All right.
And it was called Chef.
Oh, come on, Lenny Henry.
Yes.
Lenny Henry, yes.
Every time I bring up that show, no one knows what the fuck
I'm getting too excited.
I'm like, dude, I used to watch the show as a black chef.
Can I tell you real true story?
Is it weird that I know that?
No, not at all. Well, actually, it is kind of weird because not many people know about that show.
No.
And it had his wife that they're not married anymore, Dawn French.
Yes.
Yeah. My love for like Jeeps and Jeep Wagoneers and stuff like that came from him because he used to drive a Jeep. He used to drive like one of those old school Jeeps with like hence why I'm driving an FJ Cruiser right now. But I used to love that show because of him and his style.
I was just fascinated, one, because it was a British show, but also it was black British people.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's dope. And then
he was such a character on
that show was fun. It always cracked me up. And I was such a little kid.
Oh, God.
And it didn't come on like a common channel.
No, it didn't.
In the States.
Nor did it come on a common channel in England
either?
Yeah, it was on Channel 4. Which was like the more newer progressive. Because you got to remember, back in the day, there was only 3 TV stations.
Do you remember this other this other TV show? It was like the British Good Times.
What was it called?
Fuck.
Pull it up.
I got it.
Was it Bernard's or
no? Was it?
Wow.
There's the show.
Original
flyer they handed out in 1993. Chappelle, the show we talked about. It's a card they handed out for the show.
That's the show.
Played him, yeah.
That's the show. We saw that same show in Dallas, Texas.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, wow. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
It's called The Fosters.
Yes. I do remember that. Come on, man. Who was the main character in that?
Hold on, let me see.
And this is the shootout, 1992. Eric B. and Rakim, Nice and Smooth, Positive K. That's the one I went to.
Yes, I think I've heard about that.
That's the show I went to. There was a shootout, and then also
UMCs with Funkmaster Flex.
Yeah, I went to that.
Wow, the UMCs.
And then my third base it's at CMJ at NYU. I saved all my flyers, man. Everything, man.
That is crazy.
Our man was on that show.
On what show?
The Fosters.
Yep.
Lenny Henry was on that show.
Yep.
Peep this show. House of Pain, DOS Effects.
Bloody hell,
look at this show I saw. Ready?
All right.
House of Pain, Spice One, DOS Effects, Yo-Yo, Main Source, Coogee Rap, and Polo.
Wow.
That's the show I saw at the Ritz.
You see, now, you don't get look how many people were on that same set.
Fucking Yo-Yo, dude.
Yo-Yo, Main Source,
Yo-Yo.
Coogee Rap. Daza for $15.
Shouts out Spice One.
Wow.
Yeah, Spice One was there too. I knew him from Menace Society soundtrack, or I think one of those.
Yeah.
Dude, so many. Like New York just
shout out to Spice One, man. Where is that dude now? I just saw an interview with him.
I think he was on like Vlad recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah, he's talking about Tupac.
Yeah, he was talking about Tupac.
Yeah.
Oh, Spice is West Coast.
Yeah. Those are my only questions I had to ask you about those.
Come on. Yeah. And Lenny Henry was on the Fosters. Yeah.
But I loved his show. Chef
was an amazing.
How
many seasons were there?
I think 4 or 5. 4 or 5 or more than 2.
Yeah.
I would say 3 to 5.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
But that was
seasons.
a good show.
Yes, I love that show because I was like, this dude got a British accent, he's black. That's crazy.
And he used to drive a Jeep.
Yes, and I was, dude. I can't even remember how old I was when I was watching it, but
I was young.
I was in elementary school for sure.
Yeah.
Listen to this show. I saw De La Soul, Brand Nubian, KMD, Boot Sauce, leaders of the new school, $12 at the Ritz.
Wow.
At the Ritz. Damn.
But you got to remember, Brand Nubian was part of Native Tongues.
Yeah, I love Brand Nubian. One for All. And God We Trust.
Yeah.
Woo! I don't know why, but Lord Jamar and Grand Poobah, they follow me on Instagram. I don't know why, but I'm fucking so excited.
Really?
So does OC. And like I'll DM them and write something to them and stuff. It's I don't know.
The fact that you have Lord Jamar and Grand Poobah following you is pretty mystic.
And I don't know how I just don't know how it happened. Like it's amazing though. I mean, and OC too, which I DM from time to time because we didn't mention Word Life, which is one of my top favorite classic albums.
Well, we have to make sure that they listen to this episode because.
But I'm gonna get
Brand Nubian. In fact, I met. No, I'm not gonna say I met. I'm not going to say I met, but I was at a really great show that Brand Nubian did in Dallas, Texas, because you got to remember there was a really big 5% community within Dallas. And Kaysan Allah, who used to go to school with Rakim, brought Brand Nubian down, and that was right. That was actually right at the time when punks jump up to get beat down. Woo! Wow, Shinehead? You went to a Shinehead show?
I love Shinehead, yeah.
Wow. I would give wow. I would love to be a fly on the wall to see how many of your listeners would actually remember No Shinehead.
Yo, listen to this show. De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Leaders of New School, and Chi Ali and Family.
Wow. That is a proper native tongue show.
Yeah, official. Was there
and you keep all of these?
I save all these flyers.
That is insane.
You've seen all my books. I got books of all the shows I went to.
Are you serious?
I save ticket stubs. I save just like my memories of my life.
I wish I did.
House of Pain, Everlast Live.
I saw House of Pain did you ever play The Back Room in Austin, Texas?
No. I don't think so. It's sick?
Sick.
Okay.
I saw Everlast. I saw House of Pain's first ever show in Austin, Texas, at the Back Room.
Okay.
At the Back Room, and the Back Room was known for heavy metal and punk shows. That's why I asked if you ever played there.
I might have though, so the listeners don't get mad if I don't remember. Because Austin. Yeah.
But I remember seeing House of Pain, and they tore that shit up.
Damn.
They did.
Great band.
They did Jump Around 3 times, I think, that night.
Dang.
That's when cats used to do that. When you go to a show and they would
big song,
the big song. Oh yeah.
You know who did that? One of my homies told me that someone that did that recently. It was J-Rock.
J-Rock
with
did that.
That song he had. Get out the way.
Win. Yeah.
So did Jay-Z and Kanye somewhere. They did a world record of how many times they did their single. Like 10
Niggas in Paris.
10 to 15 times. That's right.
Yes.
And Travis Scott did it too with it can be anytime. Yeah. He did that like 10 times in a row at Lollapalooza or some shit like that. Yeah.
But you know what? When you think about it, it's not weird because how many times have you listened to a song on repeat?
Exactly.
Where you're just
I'm listening. Exactly. Exactly.
Yo, for the listeners, this is part 1. We're going to come back with Dante Ross. I'm going to call him right after this because I've already talked about it. You want to see knowledge of New York and history and hip hop, everything he's involved in, right?
Yeah, for sure. He's like probably one of the pioneers of New York hip hop in the golden era of the 90s, without a doubt.
Dante gets the gas face.
Without a doubt. No, he don't get the gas face.
Didn't they say on the record though? Oh,
Yeah.
Shout out to
Dante Ross and the Squad. Dude, De La Soul's first album, they talk about Dante Ross.
That's right, yeah.
Dude,
Man.
Dante's a legend.
I love De La Soul because they were the PMA hip hop.
I don't want to
so
be on the
happy.
mic for that episode. I just want to listen.
Okay, yeah.
Embrace it.
Bro.
He's insane.
Let's do it.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you
here.
so
man.
much,
this
This
was
has been
great.
so
I hope
fun,
I didn't
dude.
took your ear off.
Nah,
No,
hell
this
no,
was great.
dude.
This was great.
I love that you're part of our world and I got to meet you through the people I met you through.
Yeah.
We live in the same neighborhood, went to the same things.
Yeah.
Almost
I'm
the
glad
same
we did
age
this.
group.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it too. I love
how I just bumped into you the other day and with wifey.
Yeah.
I know, dude.
I was like,
That's our spot,
so
man.
kismet.
Yeah.
It's so kismet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
for your journey. I'm stoked you're in a good place in your life and stoked to see what you're up to next. And people can find you on the gram under your name.
Hawkstyle.
Right? You have a website or anything like that?
Vegan Boy Fresh.
Vegan Boy Fresh.
Vegan Boy Fresh.
I love
It's
that.
Vegan Boy Fresh. It's a bit dated, so we're probably gonna come out with a newer website that's gonna have some newer stuff on there. But
You have merchandise and stuff like that?
I'm gonna have some. Yeah, I'm gonna have some merch. But to keep posted, just check me on Instagram. That'd be the best way.
Okay, awesome.
Right
Anything
on.
else, Chappelle?
That's it.
Dude, that was amazing. It feels
Yeah.
like that was 2 hours and 30 minutes. Does it
Are you
feel like
serious?
I was
Yeah.
just chilling, bro. I love it.
Wow.
Bye, everybody. Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives.